Hey everybody, so we're back after God, I don't even know how long it's been, but
Forever.
yeah, honestly, um, I didn't even know if I wanted to do this tonight, but I'm like, nah, you know what, got to do it.
Why did you not want to?
I don't know, just because like you know how it's like it's funny how we always find excuses for these things, and well, not just for this, but for anything, or it's like for projects or things that we want to do. We're always like, I'm busy, or or like like this thing comes up, or nah, I'll just work on it tomorrow. But nah, you know what? But I'm like, yeah, I have time. I can do it. Let's go.
Yeah. No, I feel you, man. I have that way about certain projects, but usually, for stuff like this, it's just talking, so it isn't easy. My biggest problem is that my schedule is always fucking crazy, and I always have shit that comes up different
How's
days, and
your
I'll.
how's your schedule, like work wise, and anything else you do?
Well, my work schedule is consistent. I'm just talking about like with when you start dating, well, your schedule is going to become a lot more flexible, and
Yeah, I
also
wouldn't know that
just
because I'm not a sim. No,
well,
I'm no disrespect, dude.
I don't give a shit. But no, but I just also just other stuff that have to get done. Different things require different attentions when you live on your own. So just finding the
Right,
time to do that
right.
has kind of been different for me. But like I said, stuff like this is easy. I don't have like I had the way for other projects like writing music or going somewhere, doing something intensive or stuff like that, but not for stuff like this.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, how you doing, dude?
Whew. I don't know if you asked me how I'm doing though. How's the fucking world doing? It has been a bunch
So
of current events since we've last talked.
yeah, that's honestly you're kind of right. Maybe it's better if we shift the focus from us into right.
There's a bunch of shit.
Yeah, so I guess the biggest thing was like was is the biggest thing the Ukraine thing?
Yeah, I think we should just get that out of the way.
Yeah. Um it doesn't bother me as much as it should be, honestly.
Just the whole conflict in general.
Yeah, because well, I mean in ways it does and it should because that's where my grandpa's family is from there. And he is actually when I was down in New Orleans, I was hearing about all this on the news. He was furious. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you have a right to think that way. I mean, if anybody. But
Well, what about it makes you so apathetic? Because like my only thing is like we hear disasters and all this crazy shit every single day, especially after like slowly getting over COVID. So it's almost as if nothing really shocks me anymore. But there's still stuff that I couldn't. Well, I mean, you can predict stuff like this happening, but it just happening in real time and just thinking about it are two different things.
oh
But
yeah, no, but
what?
like I mean, this is the first like large scale global conflict that has been able to like you're able to Instagram live it.
Yeah,
Like that's I think that's why people are they're kind of blowing it up. When like I mean, there's still wars being fought around the world. Like you got the civil war in Syria, which hasn't ended yet.
yeah,
Obviously, I'm sure there's stuff in like Africa that is going on, like in the western part and like the northern part.
yeah.
There's like disputes about land and stuff like that.
I think the craziest thing to me, because I mean, my whole life I've always obviously we grew up, from all the like Desert Storm,
Right.
Iraq, Afghanistan, all that shit. I don't really remember 9/11 at all. I was a little bit young for that,
I
but I
wasn't even
mean, we
alive.
dude, that's crazy.
I
What year were you
know.
born?
I was born in 2002.
Jesus Christ, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm a
I always think
Zoomer.
people God, your generation's fucked. But no, so like
Oh yeah,
I
we are.
always I just remember growing up thinking that like all this awful shit happens in the world and all these proxy wars are happening in the Middle East, like thousands of people can die, or there's been civil wars there or civil wars in South America. I think the biggest difference for me is that like this is a big how do I put it? It's more of a big deal when you have a gigantic like superpower like Russia just saying fuck it, I'm gonna take land. Like they didn't try to organize a military coup or they didn't try to do
No,
most of
no,
the stuff that they just went and took it, which is
no,
crazy to me.
and they were very adamant about what they were doing, and they're very clear. They're like, yeah, we want to fuck the Ukrainians, so we're gonna do it.
You know what's crazy? It's been a while since I've followed anything political, let alone geopolitical. I still don't even know the reason. Like, there's a bunch of people circulating theories about, oh, they got to get the far right insurrectionists out of there, or there's Nazis, or they want the resources, or whatever
It's
have
kind of
you.
like,
I
okay,
don't
to
know.
my knowledge of it, and I know me and you both have limited perspectives on these kind of things, but
I'd say very fucking limited.
yes, no, exactly, and my brother was kind of explaining this to me more, how Russia just kind of wants Ukraine to be a state of Russia, like it how it used to be in not
Right.
just in the USSR, but it was a state of Russia in the late Russian Empire in like the 1800s and the 1900s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it's only been independent for like very short, like 30 years. Yeah. But also they they don't like how the Ukrainians try to just like distinguish themselves from the Russians, but simultaneously take credit for all of the cool cultural and historical things that Russia has to offer, but that the Ukrainians also just got all that stuff from them. So that's
Right.
why they're like, okay, why are you trying to make yourself different than us? But at the same time, you really aren't that much different. And like, you're kind of taking credit for like a lot of shit we did. It's
I don't
similar
know.
to like a
Yeah.
Germany and Austria kind of thing.
When I was looking at it, to me it seems like they just want to bring back the Soviet Union. I mean, we've had
Yeah, that's a
this
good way to look
Cold
at it.
War going on for fucking ever. It's just a shot in the
Right.
face to the Western world to prove that democracy doesn't work or whatever they want to do.
Yeah, no, that
I
is
don't
their
know,
point. I mean,
but what? Because I remember, I don't want to out you or anything, but I remember we were talking about it before. Like you were, I don't know. It seems like you had a pretty different opinion from most other people that I talked to about it. So like, what about it makes you just apathetic to it? Because it seemed like you're more on the Russian side for this.
well, I'm not on the Russian side. I'm just kind of like, I don't necessarily, I'm not like Russia's just like evil, like they're just like Hitler and the Nazis. Like it's not really that. Because I mean,
Well, no, I'm not
but
saying
at the
it's that
same
simple.
time,
I just
no,
think
but
it's
like
interesting that you have a
I,
different perspective.
right. But it's just, no, it's because like I know Putin is not like, he's not a good man, but he's definitely not as bad as like the left seems to make that he is. And there's a lot of things that he believes which are very comparable. And I know a lot of people would tell me, especially even like right-wing people, they'd be like, "Well, he's probably just saying that. He doesn't really even believe it." I'm like, "Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't mean he's not right about a lot of things."
Okay, so I guess how do you?
It's all
Okay,
of his Christian ideas that he's trying to promote. Like obviously, and like, guys, I hate to say it. Yes, I'm a Christian. Yes, I'm against homosexuality. Like, yep, I'm sorry, I'm canceled. Like, guys, like that's just that's how that's how I think of things. So like, don't get offended if you're listening to this podcast and you are for that. This is how this is. You know, it's I'm Christian. I'm sorry. If you're
but what
not,
about that has
fine.
to? What about that has to do with the Ukrainian thing though? I don't think it's like
No,
a. It's
it's
not like it's an anti-religious thing. I don't. It's
no,
just a.
it's not. But like, it's just because a lot of people have that don't like Putin might just take this as like, oh, it's just bad because Putin did it. And
See,
I'm
like I don't know. I think this is the first time because like usually when because I, I don't know if I ever told you I got drunk one night and friended a shit ton of people. I have like thousands of people on my friends list. So like I have everybody from like non-binary fucking woke leftists to like super chewing tobacco right people.
right.
So I always see like the polar opposites of these people arguing
No, but
about
I
the
mean,
same shit every
this
day.
thing
But
honestly, I think both sides like fucking hate
well,
Putin and
that's what
Russia.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the super religious people aren't saying like it's like nobody. I mean, obviously, I've seen people argue about why the reason they're doing it, but I've never really heard anybody like defending Putin's actions for this. Like everybody seems to be on the
No,
same
exact.
side of
No,
that.
it is not okay to just like raid and like a sovereign nation. Like that's not okay, and have all of these people that don't deserve this to just die. Like that's awful. But it's when I'm talking about like I'm not defending that. I'm just saying that there's things about Putin that like are positive. Even though yeah, there's a lot of negative. I do understand that. And I'm not saying that I would want to live in Russia and I would want to live under his like regime. No, I would. He is a dictator. Like I know, but there's just a lot
Interesting.
of comments he says about certain social issues, like homosexuality and abortion and just certain things like that, where I'm like, yeah, I'm with Vladimir Putin on that.
Okay. So I guess what about that is making you like apathetic to the situation? I guess not really more of a defense of Putin, just
Well, it's
like is
just
that
because
part of it?
yeah, it's just because I think he raises a lot of good points about how he doesn't like how Europe and America and just like the whole Western world is just completely nihilist now, and he wishes we still had religion. And I mean, he said it. He was like, we're Europeans. Like we need to like protect our culture and we need to like be Christian. And I'm like, yeah, man. Like kudos to you. Even though that's not the way to go about doing it and raiding a sovereign nation, he still makes a point.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things that, yeah, like we don't need to be fucking everywhere in the world. Like I was dreading because like people were like, oh, we got to get involved, we got to go do some of this.
No,
I'm like,
we
no, we
actually
fucking don't.
don't. We really
No, we
don't.
don't.
Because we have a lot of shit going on in our own country that we.
Well, that's actually, it's also to the detriment of, because I remember there's a couple of people that I know in the military and they were basically like, we're not ready for this because we spent 20, 30 fucking years messing around in the desert, so we're not
Yeah,
ready to
exactly.
do this full scale.
We're not.
Russia's been fucking tweaking their military to fight against that. So, I mean,
Yeah,
we have
like
the technology, but they don't, I don't know.
no, but they're also
I,
probably gonna
yeah.
have fucking China. That's not gonna be good.
Well, they haven't said anything. That's the crazy thing. Like, they've said nothing on it. Unless, I don't know if they have recently, but I haven't, I feel like it'd be a big deal, but they've been pretty much silent
Yeah.
about this. No support, no criticism or anything.
No, I thought the Chinese did support them. I thought they did say that like
Well, they might support them, but they're not going to
right,
say it publicly.
right. No, but I'm pretty sure I thought they did say that, but I could be
They
wrong.
might. I haven't honestly
I could
checked. They
be,
might have,
yeah,
but
because I,
yeah.
I just I try to stay off the news as much as possible because it's literally poison.
I don't follow it. I mean, stuff like this is kind of hard to avoid, and I do enjoy looking at news articles and then seeing like what both sides are saying. I like watching people just fight with each other, just for no fucking reason.
It's
It's
just
just
like
one of my
it's
favorite
entertaining
things to do.
too. Yeah.
It is entertaining, and also like I'm not, I'm not apathetic to the shit that happens. I'm just so tired of everybody being a fucking crusader. They're just self-righteous fucking retards, and I'm tired of it. I'm
Yeah, I
like
know exactly.
everybody
'Cause, like,
has to be like a warrior for something, and like they don't actually do anything. They just bitch about it, and that's
well, no,
it.
that's why I hate politicians because like
Yeah.
you get to be in
Yeah.
this holier than thou kind of thing, and you try to look for these problems that you can say talk about these solutions, but like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's my thing with all politicians, whether it's fucking our politicians, their politicians, I don't care. Like, I don't follow people like that. Like, whether it's, celebrities or politicians, anybody. I don't subscribe to, like, I don't care. I
no,
don't
because
care enough to, like, follow somebody.
no, and it's fake. Like it's really
Yeah.
it's just fake. And
Yeah, and yeah, it's hard to know. And I actually going back to that, which was I assume like Russia's mainly what Russian Orthodox,
yes, it is.
which is crazy because like I guess they're not technically I don't know what they are, but besides just being without knowing the word, just a I don't know totalitarian.
You
I
mean
guess,
you
but
mean
like
like their political ideology that
yeah,
most of
because
them subscribe to? I would say they're probably like pretty right wing.
see I assume that their government was mainly atheistic because wasn't Stalin's whole thing like
No, but
or
like
like the
no, but he hates Stalin. He thinks he was awful.
see
Like,
I don't know anything about Russian politics. That's what I'm saying. I
no,
I
like,
assume that
obviously I'm
they're
limited, but like as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure Putin is fairly right wing, and like I know my dad would probably disagree with me on that, but I mean it's obviously in all these things like the whole like right wing and left wing. It's different in the way we think of it, like in American terms and like in other countries' terms. It can mean something completely different, Because
no, I'm
politics
not
are
saying like I'm not saying left wing or right wing. I was just I
well,
thought like the
yeah.
whole communist movement revolution thing was like pretty much like atheistic in nature,
No, but
and I assume
communism
they
is
were
still left
still
wing though.
yeah, but
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, but like you said, it can attribute to different things, different places. Like I'm just saying specifically that one, so that I didn't know that their
Well,
government
no,
kind of
but like also I was saying how you were saying how like
so they
you're
theocratic.
no, they're not. No, they're still secular. But Putin is
Interesting.
he just happens to be like he just Like he
Yeah, but
says he goes to church and all that stuff.
I mean, he lays his dick on the table though. He's kind of the law of the land right there.
Oh yeah, I mean he's a dictator.
That's why they call them dictators. Anyway,
Just because they just put it on the
dude,
table.
it's like that. You ever heard that story about Johnson? I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently he
For
was
real.
so proud of his dick, he would literally like whip it out on the desk when he was mad or to make a point.
Wait, who is this?
Lyndon B. Johnson. That's why they call it like your
Oh,
Johnson.
LBJ. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's why they call it that.
I think I'm just
Oh my
bullshitting, but I
God.
swear to God, I think it's true that
If
he
it
like
is
was
that,
really.
no, but if that's why they call it a Johnson, that's great.
I mean, the dude was probably slanging, so that's why he was whipping it out all the time. And like, also, he was rumored to just like take shits in front of like meetings or people like and like talk to him.
Right.
But anyway, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know shit about Russia. It's one of the things in history I just thought was so fucking boring. I never paid attention.
Really, Russia is like one of the coolest civilizations ever.
I don't know, man. It just never
Really?
stuck.
No,
Yeah.
it's because like they're like quasi-European, quasi-Asian, and there's been a lot of debate about this like for a long time about like should it be treated as like a part of Europe? Should it be treated as part of Asia? But they've kind of come to the conclusion that it's kind of like its own thing, you know?
I feel like everybody's so fucking connected. Like it doesn't. Who gives a shit?
Well, I mean, like back when you didn't have the fucking internet.
Oh, that's true. I don't know. I mean, that whole entire area is. I mean, obviously Russia's a large landmass, but like everybody's so close together, and there's so many been different groups taking over parts and
Yeah.
merging, and just like it's been fought over for so fucking long. Like, who gives a shit? They're all
Yeah, I mean,
pretty much similar
that's why,
people.
like, people from those regions are like the most ethnically ambiguous people.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait. I'm like, who are y'all again? Like, especially like people from Central Asia.
That's why, like, when people always are proud to have like their ancestry data shown, and they're like a percentage of some
It's a
bullshit
fucking
country.
genetic accident, bro. Like,
I know. It's
what's
like,
oh yeah,
chill out.
George Carlin. He explained it perfectly. He's like, yeah, you can be happy to be Irish, but it's like, you shouldn't be proud to be Irish. Like, that's not a skill.
Especially if they're not like actually like, dude. I mean, this topic is fucking infuriating to me only because it's been so close to St. Patrick's Day. It was literally last week, or no, was it
Right.
last Thursday?
No, it was St. Patrick's Day was yeah, it was
Literally last Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, dude, I don't know why. Like, I cringe with people that are really proud to be Irish. It's the same thing. Like, I cringe when like I hate when Americans try to like be other shit and like they're
Yeah, I'm
pretentious
like,
about
shut the
it.
fuck up, you're American.
Well, it's like I don't even care about being American. It's just like stop being annoying. It's like,
Well,
like
no.
Italians and Irish people are the fucking worst at
No,
that doing that shit.
but,
Oh, I
like-
hate it. They're
No,
always
no,
the
no.
most boring people to talk to. They have no personality. That's why they bank so hardcore on a nationality.
No, are you kidding me? Italians are
Yeah.
cool as fuck, dude.
Nah, dude, they're all the fucking same.
The Italians
American
I know
ones.
Oh, you mean like Italian American? Well, no, that's what I'm talking about
I'm-
too. Like the Italian friends
yeah.
I have, like
That's what I'm saying.
they're cool.
No, I'm talking about people that are so fucking annoying and they're like they have so much pride for a country they've probably never been to. It's just crazy to me.
No, and my brother explained this to me perfectly. Like you don't realize how American you are until you leave America.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like you
Because
know,
like they be annoying as fuck over there. Holy shit, I
no,
can't even
'cause it's
imagine.
Like, you like white Americans or like Americans from European descent, like they go to Europe and you're like, ah, hello, fellow white people.
Yeah.
They're like the Europeans are like, we are not the same. Stop trying to think that like you're one of us. You're not.
You know what's crazy to me is that Irish and Italians are like the two greatest, like it's the two greatest personalities in this country. But there's also a lot of people that are German, but not a lot of people have like that annoying like I'm German thing.
It's there, but like
It's crazy. There's no like German restaurants and shit. Maybe
well,
beer,
there's
but that's
German
about it.
restaurants. There's a ton of German
Yeah,
restaurants.
but compared to Irish and Italian restaurants, though,
Irish restaurant. Well, you know, you have the Irish pubs.
yeah, or
but-
pubs, whatever the
Yeah.
fuck.
No, I have no problem with that because I'm all for like, yeah, if you like subscribe to or if you like come from something and like you have a history, yeah, like fucking own it. But like, yes, it can be like taken way too far, and you can like be really annoying about it.
like I said, I just think it's the majority of people that are like that. They just struggle. They just have an identity crisis, and like they don't create much shit, or like they don't have any outlet to express themselves. So that's what they put it into, and they're just super fucking irritated. It actually, I found another annoying one.
Oh yes, say it. What did you say?
People that want to act like Vikings. Like that is the cringiest fucking shit to me. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Even like or people that like. Actually, no. If you want to wear lederhosen, kudos to you. Like that's fucking awesome.
Who the fuck does that though? Like only
My
on
dad-
Halloween or something.
My dad has a pair of lederhosen.
Like casually.
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
I don't think he's gonna go outside, but like when he's just chilling at the house.
He wears lederhosen just chilling around the house.
I mean, occasionally. It's not like
What the fuck?
yeah, or like if it's like Oktoberfest or it's some like special occasion. It's like us with our yarmulkes, like we and all that stuff.
No, that is not the same. I don't see people walking around fucking DC in a goddamn lederhosen.
No, he's not gonna do that though. He's not gonna go to fucking DC and wear.
Yeah, but I don't
fucking
see anybody
lederhosen.
doing that. Like, dude, you gotta send me a fucking picture. Like, I have to see this in person.
My
I've
brother-
never seen anybody do that.
My brother has some too.
Oh my god, that's fucking funny.
Well, no, I mean, my thing for that is like the yarmulke and stuff like that. I only wear that on like Yom Kippur or Rosh Hashanah when it's like actually a holiday. Because like every other day of the year, like I'm not. It's like I don't need to wear that because like I don't need to.
I,
You know.
yeah, I was about to say I don't think I've ever seen you wear one.
No, exactly. Because like I'm not just gonna go to the guitar store and just wear it for like no reason. I only wear it for like when it's a special occasion.
Oh man. You know what's crazy is I remember I've only ever been to New York one time, and I like the only time I've seen a lot of Jewish people is like in DC or in New York, and I've never seen Hasidic Jews before in real life, or Orthodox or whatever
Really?
the fucking
Yeah.
traditional
There's a bunch of different
flavor of Jew.
sects. Yeah.
The what?
There's a bunch of different sects of it. Like
Oh,
But,
I'm sure.
yeah.
I just
I know what you're
the
saying.
hats and the curly hair, the whatever the
Right.
traditional. I don't know if it's Orthodox or Hasidic. I don't know. But anyway, so like I always thought it was
Okay,
crazy to me
that's
because I've never seen like a bunch of people with the same religion. It's like saying like if I walked into a mosque or something, or because like walking into a church is familiar to me. It's what I
Right,
did growing
right.
up. So that
Yeah.
that one but makes sense. But like it's just stuff like that is always interesting to me in person, which is crazy. Like when when you travel to other countries, that's the norm. But I just think it's crazy because like I'm like 75% German and 25 Mexican. So like, I just think it'd be really funny if I was that kind of guy. Like I would always.
Though? Are you sure you're not
Yeah.
like English though? Because like most Americans,
I might be.
Most Americans are more English than they think they are.
Well, my last name is German as fuck.
Oh no,
and
no. You are at least
almost
like,
everybody.
a good
Yeah.
bit,
So
but-
I'm sure there's other European bullshit in there. Who cares? But I'm saying it's predominantly German and then Mexican,
Yeah, but like
which is crazy because like
Right.
my I don't speak Spanish. My grandma speaks full Spanish. I have like one tortilla recipe in my head, and that's it. It's like a family one.
man,
But like I'm not fucking.
I'm more
It's like
in
I could be
touch
like
with the-
Elizabeth Warren,
Okay, no,
but I'm
it's,
not.
It's not that bad though. No, like you actually.
Yeah, but
have a
but the
right
people
to-
are like that though. There's people that look white like me, and they'll be like, I'm Latino. Like, shut the fuck up.
I know.
Nobody cares.
I'm like when people ask me, I'm like, are you Jewish? I'm like, kind of. End of story.
Yeah, and then they get mad at me when I make fun of them for it, and then they're the ones having the identity crisis. Like, oh, I can't. I struggle being white and Latino or white and whatever. And it's like you're creating this problem for yourself. Like I don't know where I fit in society. Maybe fucking create a universe, write a book. Like then you'll have somewhere
go
to belong.
Do something constructive.
Do
with your
something.
life.
Seriously. I'm like people protect the stuff that hurts them so deeply. It's like you're creating this problem for yourself and then getting mad at me for making fun of you for it. It's like do something with your life for the love of God. I don't want to hear about it.
I know, right? Just do something that you want to fucking do.
And as a clear up for all this shit, like obviously it's a good thing to be proud of your culture and share culture and spread. That's just how societies form. Like languages, culture, and food spread throughout the lands, and people learn about other things. I think it's good to do that. On the flip side, if you were born in this country and you have a percentage of whatever culture, you need to shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. That's just how it goes.
Right, dude.
You're just annoying and you're not saying anything insightful. It's just that simple.
So you would identify as an American of Jewish and Mexican. No, not Jewish. Sorry, what the fuck am I saying?
Fuck you.
You're like, no, Will, I'm not Jewish. No,
No, I don't give a shit. I don't care.
no, but like
I
if you have
don't
to write it
care.
on paper, you'd be like, okay, I guess I'm an American of German and Mexican origin.
No, I don't. I wouldn't write that on paper. I would just say American. Or like
Oh
if
yeah,
I'm
because
filling out
you're
an
more into like just
application,
the
I would just say
nationality,
white.
right? Like
It's
you,
crazy. Like they make you different, like white, and then also like non-Latino or Hispanic. So it's like
no,
I
the
sounds I fuck with the
races
system.
and the
So yeah,
ethnicities on all those standardized tests make no
yeah.
sense. It's like they
I
have
check
all of these.
both.
No. They have all these broad categories of like the broadest
Yeah,
thing. It says like white, and then it says like the list of the people who are white. It's like you have ancestors from Europe, the Middle East, and like India. I'm like, wait, what? And then
yeah.
it'll be like the most specific thing, like Alaska Native. It's like what? Why is that
Yeah.
its own category? Like
What I'll do is like I always check Latino, and then I do I check like the non-Hispanic Latino box too. Like I always just fucking do both because I
that's
think
a
it's funny.
thing. Oh my god, dude.
I think I'm almost. I also might be saying it wrong. I'm a visual person, so like if it's not in front of me, I don't fucking remember it. So there is like a specific box that's like it's either like Latino, Hispanic, and then there. I swear to God, there's one that's like not Latino and Hispanic. Like that's like an
No,
option,
yeah,
which is crazy. It's like the only one that's like that. So I don't know.
no. That's
I'm
why
gonna look.
like in a way, like how we use the term like Hispanic, which is used to describe like a huge group of people. I think we should do the same thing instead of saying like white people. I think it'd be better to just say like Anglo people, or just like Anglo Americans, which is just referring to people that are just from like British Isles or like Germanic descent. You know?
Eh, who gives a shit? We're all gonna be the same fucking skin color in about a couple hundred years. Don't matter. Or even less if we don't kill ourselves first.
No, but at the same time, I still think like the way that these like ethnicities are like on like the standardized test, it's like okay, these are either too fucking broad or they're way too specific. Like Alaska Native, like what? Why is that its own category? I don't get it.
I don't know. It's one of those things where
It is kind of there's a lot of debate of like what is an ethnicity and stuff like that.
yeah. So, oh, this is it's like if you were from Hispanic or Latino origins, like I'll put white and then I'll put that. That's what it is.
That's
Because it's like it's so fucking like why? Why would you give them a second option?
so I'm like, why do you want to know?
I don't know. I mean, just so they can figure out where to gerrymander districts. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, who the fuck? Like, every time I hear statistics about things, I was like, how accurate is that data really? Like, there
Oh,
has got to be
seriously,
at
yeah.
least a small percentage of people that fuck around like me and just like, there's probably like at least 1,000 white dudes to put black on the Census Bureau. Like, there has to be. There's like three fucking
Right.
100 million people in this country. There's no way that like
Yeah, or
even
it's like the oh, this is the gayest city in the world. Oh yeah, well, there's probably a bunch of people that are just dicking around and like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I'm gay.
If you haven't noticed, you don't get polled for too much shit, and they have all this number and statistics and data, so it means they're just hacking into our social medias and just collecting that shit, which Facebook has proven that they have sold.
Yeah,
So
that's very
that's where they get
yeah.
that from. But yeah, I don't know. People make fake Facebook accounts. Like people just, it's just there's no way. Like I don't even. I would honestly die on the hill of. I would say it's not even a greater percentage accurate than it is not accurate. Like I don't even think it's 50-50. I'll
Yeah,
give it
that's
60-40.
That's where
I'll give it
society
60-40.
is just like completely just fucking distorted now.
Yeah.
It's just because like we're
I don't know.
constantly like looking at this shit and like these statistics and all this, you know.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't think. I don't. Like, the
Like,
other thing
dude,
too is they
is
don't really show
Wyoming
you how they
real?
get the
Like,
data.
How do you know, dude? Seriously, how do you know it's real?
I would have known. I was supposed to go to a concert in the Teton Valley. It was supposed to be a really cool outdoor festival,
Really?
but it got canceled because of COVID, obviously. But I was really
Fuck.
excited to do that. So I would be the first one to Wyoming to prove that it's real.
Well, my sister's there right now, so unless she's not there.
For what?
She goes to college there.
In Wyoming?
Yeah.
What is she studying?
She goes to a liberal arts Catholic school.
All the way in Wyoming?
Yeah, I mean it looks pretty cool. Like you get to go skiing and hiking all the time. Like it's very outdoorsy.
It just sounds like a. It sounds like a vacation with a degree attached to it. So that sounds like.
Yeah, I mean like I would love to go there honestly. It's just like because you get all the cool like Western U.S. Natural beauty, and then you also just get to study something. I wouldn't mind going there.
I would too.
Yeah, and like she gets to go
I don't know.
skiing and rock climbing all the time. It
I don't
caters
know. I
like
can
to
do that
that.
here too.
Right, I know.
I'm not a good skier, so I want to ski in the mountains that aren't as big.
I would love to go to Colorado and go
Yeah, I know.
skiing.
Everybody says that's the place to be.
Colorado, like I kind of fuck with Colorado. I would live there.
Where, like in Denver or Boulder or
Someone like that, like one of those two. I mean, like
bigger city?
I'm not like I'm fine with honestly just living here, but in fucking Manassas, Virginia, if you guys don't know where I'm living.
Gross. I don't mind living here either. I like the fact that, there's a bunch of different scenery and climates. You can go to the beach, you
there's
can go to the
enough shit
city,
to
you can go to the
do.
mountains. There's no
Yeah.
desert, but,
Yeah, there's no
um,
desert.
who the fuck needs a desert?
The Middle East needs a desert, dude. Yeah.
Everybody needs a fucking desert.
I would love to go to the desert. I would love to just like go to Morocco and ride a camel. That'd be fucking awesome.
That would be cool. I don't know why sometimes I just get very spiritual and want to cross the Sahara and then
yeah.
come back a whole new man.
Yeah, and I want to just like play the ode. Is that what it's called? Like the O, like that.
Oh, there's some shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
dude, I love
ode.
fretless instruments.
I would love to just like play that and then just do like that kind of singing. It's called like I know the scale is called the Hijaz. Like it's like that
It's
that Eastern like the like it's like it has all those like half step changes that are really fast. It's not easy to sing like that, especially for like
Oh yeah.
people like us, you know.
They have a bunch more notes too. It's why it's crazy. That's why music is so subjective because
Right.
their ears are trained to like go in between microtones.
Which
So
we can't do as yeah.
we it's not that we can't do it, it's the fact that we just don't have the ear for it. So like sometimes
yeah,
like I've listened because
exactly.
I like some trippy Eastern stuff and obviously like listening to some Indian stuff and there's
Dude,
a lot
I
of it sometimes
fucking
that
love Eastern music so much.
yeah.
Like
So I
from
think the Indians call it Carnatic singing. I think I'm saying that right, or I might be saying that wrong. But it's basically at that wavering pitch. And I've also I don't know what country, but I've also listened to some people. They'll recite the Quran in like a very deep kind of voice, and they're like a large cathedral, and that sounds pretty cool.
yeah, there's people that
Um,
like in the Greek Orthodox Church, they read the gospel and they chant it like that in like that kind of
Yeah.
style. It's cool. Or like in
But the one thing I think is actually really funny, you're gonna dig this because of your hatred of Turkish people. There's some Turkish music that
Okay,
sounds like
I don't know if we want to talk about that.
we can go into it. I'm just saying I think you'd appreciate this because there's a lot of Turkish music. That's what I'm saying. We're not trained to hear that type of range and scale. So like a lot of times it sounds like they're off key or off pitch. When like you ask somebody from that country, like no, this sounds fine.
It doesn't bother
Kind
me.
of thing
No,
too.
I mean none of that music bothers me.
Have you listened to specifically like Turkish music?
Not really. I mean, I'm sure if I heard it, I would probably be like, "Oh, that's what it is."
Not like not like I feel like a lot of European slash Central Asian stuff. It's like techno and it's really quantized and a lot of digitally altered. But
Are you talking about like
I'm talking
modern?
like traditional.
No.
No, like traditional singing
no,
stuff like
I
that.
would assume modern Turkish music is just like whatever, just it
It-
happens to be in Turkish, kind of like a lot of pop.
it's
music.
like it's just flamboyant Europop, whatever. But no, like
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just got on this kick because I had to do a project for my communications class. So I was like researching different types of singing from around the world, and the one that sounded the worst to me was the Turkish one. But it's just crazy how much like microtonal it is.
No, I mean, you know what I'll do? I'll actually, for the next podcast, I'll listen to a bunch of Turkish music, and we're gonna talk about some fucking Turkish music, dude.
Oh God.
No,
You know,
but
be funny. Like I'm pretty sure I'm saying the right country, but I could be fucking wrong. So, but I'm almost positive it is Turkish music.
right.
That it
But
sounds
also,
kind
like,
of weirdly
you
off
kinda wanted
key.
it to be just because of the. you
Yeah,
know?
because of your deep racist hatred towards the Turks.
Okay. We don't need to go there. A lot of it is also just like what my brother told me about it. And
You're
I'm,
just one of those kids that had that like older brother that was into.
oh yeah, no, and I believe a lot of things just because my brother told me. But I just thought it
Yeah.
was funny.
I know
the
you're
things
that
he
kid,
said.
Will.
Oh yeah, I know.
My siblings are too far apart in age for me to be influenced. I was
really?
I was always a contrarian dude. I always just hated it. And it's crazy when I do this kind of now, but when I was younger, anytime somebody said something to me, I was just like, no, I'm gonna do the opposite.
Right. Well, no, I mean,
Every
obviously,
time.
I don't agree with like everything my brother says. Like my brother loves like French stuff, and he's so into like the French culture and history. And like I fucking hate France. I think they're lame.
I wanna gauge your nose for geography here. What cultures can you not stand? I know Turkey's on there. I know France is on
Well,
there.
the Turkish
What
is
other
also just like
ones?
a meme though. But at the same
There's a
time,
memes for everything though.
well, no, at the same time, like I wouldn't really ever want to go there, you know?
I want to go to Istanbul. That's a really cool city.
Yeah, but that's not really the actual Turkish part of Turkey because that's the most Greek part of Turkey.
Well, there's also a lot of ruins. Like I'd like on the countryside. I don't know where it
Yeah,
is in
I would
Turkey, but there's
love
a
to
bunch
go
of
see.
ruins I want to see.
No, but
Dude,
I would love to see the Hagia Sophia, but like I just don't really count that as part of Turkey, if you know what I'm saying.
what do you consider part of Turkey?
Everything to the east. It's like Istanbul is so different than the rest of it.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's I don't know. Is it their capital? Is it the capital city of Turkey?
I don't know. It is their most like touristy place.
Yeah. Um, I mean, yeah, obviously the countries. I mean, it's a fucking
Yeah,
country.
it's
There's
like
gonna have different parts.
it's like going to no, but it's
But
like
you've never been there, so you don't fucking know.
well, right. But also it's you know how like there's Paris and then there's like the rest of France.
Yeah, I get that it's different.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's not my point. Is
No, but there's actually honestly like there's very few countries that like I would never be open to visiting. I would like if someone like if I knew someone from Turkey and they're like, "Hey, you're going with me to Turkey tomorrow." I'd be like, "Yeah, you know what, dude? I'm fucking down cuz I love visiting places. I love seeing new places and peoples and things." And like I mean, the only places where like I wouldn't want to go to were the places where it's just fucking obvious not to go there because it's so dangerous. Like you
yeah.
know, like
Well, I mean, there's
Syria,
dangerous shit
because
everywhere.
they're well, no, but Syria is literally in the middle of a war. Somalia, that speaks for itself.
Yeah, but they might not be in the coming years. It just depends on
Oh
what
yeah,
it
I'm just
is.
talking about
But
right now. Like
oh yeah, yeah,
I
of
wouldn't
course.
want to go to Australia just because of all the, like the lockdown shit they're doing. But
You know
like
what's
in
crazy
the
is I've
future
heard a
though,
bunch of shit about that.
what about it?
About Australia. Everybody's freaking out that they're just like a total totalitarian state.
What do you think about it?
I have no idea. I don't know anybody that's Australian. I haven't been following it. I just know that I don't know. I mean, I have a bunch of redneck friends. So everybody's like, they're taking their guns, and then also the whole lockdown shit, like people getting arrested for being out past curfew and shit like that. So that's really all that I've heard. But I don't know. Like I said,
I mean, it sure makes me glad I live here.
I just think I don't know. Everybody's gonna be around the same amount of suck in the next coming years. Like I don't, dude. I was reading this one thing about how we only have like maybe 50 years of topsoil left
Oh yeah.
before that's like, fuck. It's stuff I don't need to be thinking about now, but it's just things that keep me up at night.
Wait,
But no,
what countries would you not go to? I'm sorry to bring it back, but
uh, I don't know. I probably some in the Middle East and probably some in Africa. I would say
like why? Because of the danger thing, or just because you
probably
don't fuck with it?
there
Like,
are. Well, there's just areas like you just can't go to, and I don't want to go to a country and like there's like obviously there's bad areas everywhere, but like I said, I don't want to like end up in the wrong fucking area of somewhere and have
well,
like be a
yeah.
problem.
And there's also places that are just not allowed to foreigners, like Mecca and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's all so disappointing to me because I love Mecca, but honestly, sometimes I respect that decision because a bunch of fucking loud, annoying Americans walking through there is probably not a good idea anyway.
Yeah, no, that's
Sometimes I
why
just want
like
to. I
Japan's.
really want to see it though.
I have a huge respect for Japan on how they don't want a bunch of people immigrating to their country. Because they're like, no, we're Japanese. We want to be like our own people. Can y'all just fuck off? I'm like, yeah, Japan, you kind of have a point. You know,
Yeah. But no, I feel like there's not a lot of places I mean obviously there's people that do it. I'm not that adventurous. Like I have fucking anxiety. Like I can't just go to a place knowing that
right,
there's gonna be imminent danger. I mean there's obviously I could walk outside and get shot tomorrow.
right.
I'm just saying like I feel like I'm more likely to do like there's a lot of places in South America that I don't go to, but I feel like it's just I don't want to worry about walking into the wrong neighborhood.
I
Like
have
I just don't
someone.
want
Well,
to have
okay,
to
no,
deal with that.
it's very different though if you have someone with you who knows who.
That is yeah, that is
That
true.
is very different. Like I don't. I would not have gone to Brazil if I didn't know anyone there.
Yeah, that is
I
true.
had
I
the
feel like
luck
if
of
I
that.
had proper guides, yeah. I also, it's weird, man. Like, I hate being like, this is the one thing I can't stand about being from this country is like you just have that like stigma, and like I just don't fucking want to deal with that.
Yeah, I know, and that's the other thing, and it sucks for language learners, like Americans that want to learn new
Yeah,
languages, like, because Americans are notorious for not like not wanting to learn languages and not knowing how to speak other languages, and
yeah.
how
You
like when I went to Brazil and like in the airport and like they're already like speaking to me in English, I'm like, can y'all just like not do that? Like I know how to speak
yeah.
Portuguese. You don't need to do that. I mean, I understand like they had a reason to assume that I didn't know how to speak Portuguese because probably think I'm like a stupid fucking American.
Yeah. That's something annoying because I've never been the kind of guy like ever since I was little. Like I don't know why I didn't learn Spanish. I just languages. I don't know. We always talk about this. Languages don't stick with me. But
Right.
like every
Teach his
time,
own.
especially like working, yeah, every time like working customer service and retail, which I do now, like people that have a hard time speaking English or anything like that, like it doesn't like bother me, like and it doesn't annoy me at all. And like I'm always happy to help people or like use a translator, like stuff like that is never an issue to me. Like I never really. I mean, besides like the obvious like like making like funny broken English jokes and shit, but like I've always been helpful
It's
with
a
people to
gold
do
mine
that.
of humor.
Yeah, exactly. It's just funny, but like I've always been respectful, and it really doesn't bother me,
Yeah,
right? So
no, I
then,
am never gonna get mad if like
yeah,
if someone's
especially if they're trying
trying.
to
Yeah,
do
if they're
it,
trying,
yeah.
like I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll help you.
It's like those people. Yeah, it's like those people that get mad at fat people that go to the gym. It's like, what, you be mad at them for not going to the gym? Like you
Yeah,
just, oh, you
it's
just sit
like
on your ass, go do something. Like they are doing
they're
something.
trying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I never got that mentality. But anyways, the reason why I said that was because like when I went to France, I went to the Mediterranean part of
Oh, you
France on the
did?
south
Okay.
side.
I
So
didn't know you
yeah,
went to
it was
France.
very nice. But the people were such assholes,
It's those
dude. Like
Mediterraneans,
I
man.
tried like I mean obviously like I got like out like the book of like phrases like how much does this cost? Where's the nearest phone? Like like
Oh
I
no,
learned like common phrases so I could like ask people
if you
shit.
don't pronounce the French language in like a perfect accent, they look at you
They'll
like you just like murdered someone.
Yeah, dude, they roll. Dude, it's bad. Like I walked in because I was my mom. Like my mom, my mom. We don't have to get into it. Anyways, she wanted me to go in and ask this lady something, and she spoke English, I think, but she didn't want to. She kept talking to me in French. So I was trying to get like specific shit. So I was trying to pull up the translator, and I was trying to like say like something to her in French, and she just fucking just like rolled like blatantly like rolled her eyes inside. It
Right.
was so fucking funny. I was like, what the. And then like, dude, the craziest shit was like we were walking down this bridge and this lady's car broke down in the middle of the road.
Bruh.
We helped her push her car to a parking lot, and she
Oh
was
my God.
pregnant too. So it's
Oh,
like this is
wait,
about to be
was she
the
about to give birth?
no. But she was well on her way. I mean, she was probably like maybe 7 to 8 months in. Like she was, you could
Okay.
definitely tell she was pregnant,
Yeah.
and she's about to have the worst day of her life. And we helped her like get her out of the middle of the road, and like she was just getting really irritated that we couldn't like communicate that well. It's like Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
the fuck, man, snooty people.
No, I don't. I mean, obviously, I think the other Romance languages are significantly cooler than French, but like my brother loves French, I love Spanish, and also Portuguese. But like, obviously, like I have to give credit where credit is due. France still has, I mean, obviously, still has a bunch of things that I think are cool about it. And like, I would still love to go there one day.
Oh, it shouldn't shock you. It shouldn't like you just gotta get thick skin about that shit. It's just
Oh no, and like
that's what I'm saying. It's just funny to me.
like
You don't have to care about it.
no, but also like I can actually like I mean, I can do accents pretty well, and also like I already
Yeah,
know Spanish and Portuguese, so
yeah.
it wouldn't take
The
that long to learn a decent amount of French.
You know what's crazy? It's just like one of the biggest cultural differences I've noticed, and I'm trying to figure out a way to word this because, like, obviously, because like I'm making a general statement for a bunch of people, but like I remember, like usually, like people in this country, like you kind of have to like, you can't get irritated at people for like, kind of coming here and like struggling or you have it's a very like sensitive atmosphere, right? You go to those other countries, like you'll do something so small and like that'll like ruin their day, like you'll deeply offend somebody for just like being mildly inconvenient. It's crazy.
Yeah, or just like asking for ice in your water.
Yeah, just shit like that. That's why I also hate the people that are like overly nice to you because they want you to buy shit. Like it's just super fucking weird. That's the one thing I hate about traveling, and being where I'm from and looking what I look like.
Yeah.
Just like, oh my
That's
god.
why I love looking how I look, because I could, like,
Hey, my friend.
yeah, like I could literally pass as like so many things, dude. I'm
Yeah,
so
you're very
happy about
ambiguous.
it, and like, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's why I love
You could be
having.
fucking Jewish, Spanish, goddamn
I could be like,
European.
I could be Italian, French, fucking
Yeah.
German. I could be
Just a mutt.
Portuguese. Yeah, exactly. Which, I mean, I am a mutt, but who cares? No. If you do care, that's great.
I care, Will. I care deeply.
Thanks, bro. I love you.
You're welcome. I love you too. But no, I don't know. I do like traveling though. I just hate I mean, I have the luxury to do that, so I'm not really gonna complain.
Oh
It's just
no,
the
because
things
it's
that are just
such
like,
a
what the
nice
fuck?
thing. I love being able
Yeah,
to
it's like,
fly and like just be at a like so many miles away, like in that like in an instant. It's so nice.
yeah. Like some people can't even get off of work. Like I'm able to go to a different country. I just think it's cool.
Yeah, I know. And like,
But I, yeah.
yeah, speaking of like the
Yeah,
travel,
but
I did go back to New Orleans, man.
you got to go back to New Orleans when you're of age.
Oh yeah, which is coming up.
What? Wait, how do you know?
I am 19.
You're 19. If you're still around in 2 years, I'll go to New Orleans with you when you're 21.
Oh
That'll be a fucking
fuck
good
yeah,
time.
dude. We're going to Bourbon Street.
Yeah. I've never been, so I can't think of a better time to go.
It is it's an authentic city. I'll give it that. And it's so fucking interesting. It's one of the most interesting cities like in like the fucking world. And it's
How big is New Orleans? Is it like a...
how big is it?
Yeah, it's not that big of a city, is it?
No, there's maybe about like 2-3 million people.
Okay. Also, like, size-wise, too, like, distance-wise.
I'm not sure because it depends on if you're talking about like the actual city or if you're talking about like the greater metro area.
I don't count greater metro areas as part of the city.
I
Just like people think, oh, we're a suburb of DC. It's like, we're across the fucking river. Like, we're not part of
Oh
DC.
no, I mean I don't feel anything in common with like DC.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
yeah, we're
even
in the
like
DC
Arlington, which is right there.
Yeah, like we're in the DC area, but it's still a pretty
Yeah.
fucking big area.
But, like, we're nowhere near the fucking city.
No,
We're, like,
yeah.
30 miles from it.
Exactly.
40 miles or whatever the fuck. But no, but, like, yeah, like legitimate, like, the city limits of New Orleans.
Yeah, I want to say it's like 2 to 3 million people, but I'm not entirely sure.
Okay. Because I think, like, what's the largest city? Like, Los Angeles, I would say. It's probably the largest city
In America?
in the U.S.
Oh, in the U.S.? No, I think it's New
Yeah.
York.
No.
I'm pretty sure it's New York.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, look this up right now.
Because I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's congested. Like, I feel like New York, like, it doesn't. There's no way New York covers as much landmass as L.A. Hold on a
Wait, are you
second.
talking about by
Let's see.
population or by?
No, not by like
Oh,
size,
okay,
like the
okay. 'Cause when
physical
you're saying
size
this,
of
I'm
the
thinking
city.
in population. No, I think in that case, yeah, LA would be bigger.
Let's see. What is the largest city in the United States? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they'd be also pretty close in population as well.
Yeah, but I
So
think New York has a little bit more people.
what the fuck?
What is it?
Anchorage, Alaska? That's the largest city by
No, I guess so. But it has like barely any people
wow.
there, and it's just dispersed
By
over like
it's
yeah.
it's fucking like almost 2,000 square miles. Holy fuck.
What about like, but no, what about like person per square mile or whatever? That's probably
Okay, so it looks like you're right. New York City has like a population of 8.1 million, and then Los
right.
Angeles has like 3.9.
Okay. Okay.
But I guarantee you, like, Los Angeles is larger in mass.
No, but also like the people in the LA area are still kind of part of LA, if you know what I mean. Because like New York, like you have like the river and the water that separates like Manhattan and all the other boroughs from like
Yeah,
the
but they still consider all those New York City though. I'm sure.
well, no, not just the boroughs, but like the places outside of that. That's
Oh, yeah,
not
yeah.
really New York anymore, I guess, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, so Los Angeles is 472 square miles, and then New York is 304, but it has a larger population because it's more congested.
Right. And then obviously, yeah, it's more. It's more.
And then Anchorage
yeah.
is almost 2,000 square miles. That is crazy.
Jesus, sorry, Jesus, I shouldn't say that.
You know what? Let's get on that topic. Do you really think that saying his name like that is taking it in vain?
I
Do you
mean,
think that's literally what it means in transcription?
well, I mean, if you can get you can get desensitized to it, and you can't just like take.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, do you really think that's what they meant by saying taking the Lord's name in vain was just using it as a expletive?
You mean
Unless
just
you're like
saying?
actually damning it.
Um, I mean, if it leads to indifference, then yeah. But
Where is that? Where like that's what I'm
when
saying.
it
Like,
when
why
it
is
just
it
makes you like
that
not even
way?
care anymore, and it's like, well, I mean, you still are, you know.
See, I always thought it was like if you take Lord's name in vain, if you were like damning him or like saying something that was heretical, heretical, however the fuck you say
Heretical,
that,
yeah.
heretical. If you're saying something like that, I never thought it was because of saying
Well,
goddamn.
no, I mean, there's different people have said it like there is a difference between like cursing when you're really angry as opposed to just cursing like just when we're just having it right now and we're just like fuck this, fuck that, But
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, is it's
I
the
mean, there is
intention.
a
That's why.
difference, but it's still not something that you should do. I'm
That's what I'm saying. They don't really go specific about it. It just says don't do that. That's why I'm saying whatever because everybody has a different interpretation of it. I think
well, that's why yes, but there is a lot of wrong interpretations of a lot of things.
it's because everybody has the right one.
No, that's not how
That's
it
you can't.
works.
What? So you're telling me that nobody that's religious thinks that their one is the right interpretation? That's like
No,
all of
yeah,
them, bro.
people are gonna think that it's the right one, but that doesn't mean that they're
Exactly.
all right, because that doesn't make any sense. They can't all be right at the same time.
I'm not saying they're all right. I'm saying it's the fact that everybody thinks theirs is the right
Well,
version. Everybody else's is
yes,
the wrong
but at the same
version.
time, there is a right interpretation
Yeah, but how do you know?
because I have the Bible, I have the church, I have authority, and I have things to back this up. And it's not.
Right, but then it's completely different to some other church and some other denomination of Christianity. That's what I'm saying. Like everybody thinks their version is the right one. I just think it's
Yeah,
interesting because every time I ask somebody that question, they give me a different answer.
yeah, but like truth exists and there is an ultimate truth and there's an ultimate authority when it comes to this. That's like why I would always ask my moral theology teacher questions like this about church doctrine or anything like that. And then like one of my questions I was like, "Well, who are you to say that this is?" And then she goes, "Well, who are you to say?" And I'm like, "Oh,
No one is.
shit. I guess you kind of have a point." And it's like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's like if no one is truly to say, then you shouldn't like make it
well, no, the
law.
church is to say. The church is to fucking
Well, that's
say,
what
dude.
I'm. Well, how are they like? Then that's what I'm
It's
saying. Like
because it's
that's the.
divinely inspired and it's given to them by God.
I always forget that you're Catholic. That's crazy because I grew up Methodist. So it's like we don't have the physical, like we don't have like we don't have the portal. We don't have the God portal to give humans power. It's
Wait.
I always
Oh,
forget you're Catholic
right.
because there's like we don't believe in divine authority in when mortals. I
Well, I
think
do.
I don't know.
That's
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the difference between Catholicism and I guess other sects of
well,
Christianity.
yeah. That's because that's why there's a lot of good about monarchy is because all authority comes from God. And obviously, yeah, there's going to be people that abuse it, but that doesn't mean that just like a fucking social democracy, which just elects people like puppets, is going to be better just because because it doesn't give absolute control to one person. It's like that doesn't make a fucking difference because there's always going to be bad people, you know.
Yeah, but no one's gonna tell the difference if it's coming from the same authority.
No, but well, what do you mean the same
That
authority?
like you have like I guess I'll take like the Pope for example. Like I don't if throughout thousands of years, every Pope or not every Pope, but most popes have been different. Some genocidal, some progressive, some old fashioned, whatever respect. Like it's been differences in opinions and like what was that God's doing that they decided to update the new climate change one. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like
no, the
it's
Pope
I
is
don't know. I just
only
think most of that shit's man made.
well, no, but there is a lot of stuff that the Pope that is man-made, but there's also a lot of stuff the Pope does that is divinely inspired. Like I'm sure you've heard of infallibility, right?
No, I don't. I don't know what
Well,
that is.
infallibility, people typically tend to confuse it with the idea that it just means that the Pope can do no wrong and he's right about everything. That's not how it works. It means that the Pope, when he needs to write a new doctrine, he is divinely inspired and he is without error. And all that stuff about climate change, that's not doctrine, that's just the Pope's opinion. And the Pope can like he can literally say whatever the fuck he wants when it comes to that.
So all doctrine is divinely
That's not
inspired,
it.
whether it
That's not
contradicts the previous
doctrine.
one. No, I'm not saying this doctrine. I'm just saying I didn't know the distinction. So like the
Right,
stuff
because
that is doctrine
there
can
is a
contradict.
distinction. Because all of the stuff that Pope Francis says that most conservative Catholics think is wrong, that's not an excuse to say that the Pope is bad, and that like it's like that doesn't mean that the Pope is just like this proves that the papacy is like is wrong. It's like no, the Pope is just saying that because it's his own opinion. Or that's just his view on it. That doesn't mean that that's the church's teaching on it. He's gone against the church's teaching on several occasions, actually.
Well, that's what I was saying. Doesn't this one get a lot of shit for that?
Yeah, no, exactly. And there's a lot of debate of whether or not, kind of like how our own American election was with all the people saying that it was stolen and all that stuff. There's a lot of people in the church hierarchy that are like, maybe this election of the Pope was not valid, and there was a lot of collusion
Ooh,
involved to like get him there.
ooh, some inner workings, huh?
Yeah, no, but dude, the church is invaded it
Invaded by what?
by the fucking devil, and like people that are trying to destroy this shit.
Interesting. So do you think that the devil infiltrated its way to some doctrine?
I mean, in terms of like the Pope's views on things, yes, absolutely.
Well, not no, not like you said. There's a distinction between his views on things and what
Well,
is
no, the
actual.
doctrine's perfect.
So that's what I'm saying. You don't think the devil is going to influence that doctrine, any part of
No,
that?
because it's
That's going to be all from God, but then everything else is being infiltrated by the devil.
well, no, not necessarily anything. Well, obviously that's evil.
Right. So how do you know if the devil has infiltrated that system? Then how do you know he's not influencing the doctrine too?
Because he isn't, because it's God's,
Well, how do you know
because
that?
it's God's doctrine.
But you just said it was infiltrated.
Well, no, it's been infiltrated, and these people are trying to like convince you that it isn't divinely because like the Pope is very relativist.
It just sounds like you're separating the authority of the Pope and then his like opinions. Like
Well, no,
I feel like it's one in this.
that's why me as a Catholic who I don't like Pope Francis, I think there's a lot of wrong about him. It still is never an excuse to leave the church because
No, I'm not saying you have to leave the church. I'm just saying like just viewing them as like divine authority.
it
Like I
doesn't
feel like you
matter
can still be
because
real.
yeah, I know there's tons of Catholics that aren't good people. There's a bunch of Catholic elites that do awful things. But like
No, no, no. I don't. I'm not saying you have to be an apologist. I'm just saying like just the idea of like seeing a man-made structure and system and bureaucracy.
oh, it's
What
not.
sounds to me like
It's
is
not
divine.
man-made. It's divinely inspired. That's the thing that I'm
Yeah, but it's still by man. It's still people
no,
like
it's
divinely
not
inspired
because
for
it's
man to
from
create it,
no,
right?
because it's from Jesus and Jesus gave it to the apostles. Jesus gave it to man.
Did Jesus tell the Catholics to build a giant vault and keep all the secrets of history in there?
Well, what do you okay, seriously, what do you think they're hiding?
I don't know. I want to go in there. I want to see what they're hiding.
They're not really hiding
I want to
anything.
know.
But
I want to. All that's bullshit because they have to have so many credentials for
yeah,
researchers
dude.
just to look at the books that are down
Okay,
there.
no, dude.
I know they got something
My
good.
ultimate point is that yes, there have been Catholics that have done shitty things, but that doesn't
There's shitty people everywhere. I'm
yes,
not trying to
exactly.
like.
That the reason why I'm Catholic is because it's the only human institution that is divinely inspired.
Why don't you make your own sect of? Why don't you make your own church and do the
Because
will
if I do
divine
that, then I
doctrine?
go against everything that I believe in. Because I need to trust that there's people that are higher than this, and like they're well, I would say, lack of a better word, higher than me, and that have like authority of whether or not these things are like one what is right and what is wrong. Because you can't decide that for yourself.
I think you can't decide it on a larger scale, but I mean, every day to day, like how much that stuff affects your day to day life, you know? They're not going to help you out. I mean, you might donate money to them, but at the end of the day, like your religious belief is going to be your own spiritual belief, regardless of whatever you subscribe to. But
You could still be
I'm just
right or
saying,
wrong,
as a,
man.
just, it doesn't matter. It's like we're on this earth until we're not. And then after that, then you can pay your penance and do all that stuff to get into heaven. But I don't know. I just feel like once we're here, because I mean, I don't know. That's kind of why I've kind of
Well, no,
gotten because I was just
this is
assumed
basically.
that most religions all man
I'll
made.
just put it this way: It's not. Yes, every religion except Catholicism is man-made. That's
So Catholicism is the only religion that's not
yeah,
man-made?
because it was given authority
That's
by God.
crazy. That's crazy.
It doesn't matter what shitty things that these people do. Nothing can undo what God did. The covenant was fulfilled with Jesus, and it's going to stay that way. That's why it doesn't go from Jesus to Martin Luther. It doesn't go from Jesus to John Calvin. It doesn't go from Jesus to anyone else. Like it stops at Jesus. Jesus gave it to St. Peter, and St. Peter is the Pope. Therefore, that's who I'm following. Like I'm never leaving that. I'm never separating myself from it.
I think you're one Tool album away from separating from it.
No,
Because I feel like people say that in high school.
No, Tool never makes me.
What do you think Opiate's about, bro? It's like it's about like a dude. Have you read the lyrics for Opiate?
I actually never really listened to Opiate that much.
Well, go listen to Opiate because it's. I don't think you're gonna like them after that song because it goes hardcore.
Well, yeah, I'm very aware that Tool is extremely anti-religious, but that doesn't bother me because, like, I'm sure a lot of it is just because they want shock value and they want to piss people off. It doesn't really bother me because I love their music. I love how it sounds. I think it's a cool sound.
No, I know. I was more making a joke. But on that topic, you know, it's crazy. They actually perform at like the Church of Scientology used to like house concerts, and I don't know if they still do, but they had Tool like play there, and they played that song live.
The Opiate song?
Yeah, which is, I mean, aimed towards Catholics, but the fact that they were doing, I mean, he made a whole thing against Animals about Scientology and how living in LA just fucking sucks ass. So, he literally says "fuck L. Ron Hubbard" in his song.
Was that the founder of Scientology?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a fucking science fiction writer. It's crazy.
Oh, nice.
But no, yeah, I mean, just me personally, like I said, I didn't grow up Catholic. My parents both were Catholic, and they didn't, like, they hated, like, everything that they hated about Catholicism, they liked about Methodism. So they liked how, like, inclusive it was. They hated the fact that like people that weren't Catholic couldn't take communion. Like, they had a big issue with that shit. So I mean, they raised me Methodist, and okay, I kind of just, I mean,
there's no restrictions on who is allowed to be Catholic and who is not.
No, I know that, but I don't like, I don't give a shit. That was just their personal grief.
That honestly was the biggest thing for me, was the Eucharist, and what actually like cemented me. I was like, yeah, you know what, I believe in this shit. Is like the Eucharist. I'm like, if I really do believe that this is like Jesus Christ, and I am literally eating like the bread of life, and like I'm eating something so like powerful, like it, you know, it's like that ecstasy, like it's intense, like literally being with God. It's very intense, and like you can't just give this out to anybody. Like it's popcorn. Like that's why there's rules when it comes to these things.
Yeah, and that's when, I mean, honestly, that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a personal, like, what you value and what you get importance out of. For me, like, I mean, I don't know if I've ever, like, someone mentioned, like, I do believe in a higher power. I just think that mostly everything, like, religious, man-made has just been, like, I think if God came down to earth, he'd be very angry with everybody, like, atheist, Catholic, Christian, like, whoever. Like, I think he'd be just angry at everybody. But regardless, I don't know. I kind of like lost just all that man-made shit. I don't like people in general, so like there's people. So like I don't know. I also just didn't get like any spiritual feeling from that kind of stuff. I more get it out of music and like finding my own like revelations.
There's some great Christian music, dude.
Resolutions of things. I'm trying to. I didn't like contemporary Christian music.
No,
there's
like not what I'm talking about. Contemporary Christian music is awful.
Yeah, it's garbage.
You know, I'm talking about like Gregorian chant and
No, I think that shit's cool too. I also exactly. Cuz like the cool thing that I like about Methodist stuff is like they have a lot of different bands that do they'll take like standard like hymns or worship songs and like like they'll do like the one that at my old church they used to do like a rock version of it, so like people will be like shredding solos and good drum fills, and like they had
that's the thing for
like
me.
A full band.
Like when it comes to liturgy and stuff like that, you know, because like if you are in the presence of God, which you are if you go to a Catholic mass, because that's the whole point of the Eucharist, because it's literally Jesus. If he was there in front of you, you're not just gonna want to play some like hippie music. Like Jesus isn't gonna be like in jeans. He's gonna be like He's literally
He plays Wonderwall.
he's okay. He's literally God. So like you're gonna want to have some like
Yeah.
majestic sounding thing in front. Like you want to have pay like the highest respects to him. You know.
So let me ask you this then.
Ask me.
So I guess like if Catholicism is like the divine right, so it's like the people that aren't Catholic but like accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior and all that other shit. Do you think that they're not going to get in unless they subscribe to whatever you have to, I guess, take the Eucharist or
Not
whatever
necessarily,
specific
but they
Catholic shit you got to do?
they still have to. They're still judged by God. Everyone's judged by God. I don't think that
Yeah, I
every
know, but
Catholic is gonna go to heaven. That's not how it works.
no. What I'm saying is like you have to like subscribe to a specific Catholic
Yes, you
thing to
do.
go.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Because if you don't,
So is it
then life has no meaning.
so all people that are Christian but aren't Catholic are going to go to hell until
Not
they subscribe
necessarily.
to
Not
whatever the Catholic thing
necessarily.
is?
Because I don't know
So
who's
then
in
what?
hell. But the point.
That's my whole point
Okay,
is you
no,
don't know.
it's because the point is that your actions have consequences, and things are right and wrong. Unlike what the popular thing of that, like the idea of like morality is subjective, which it is not. Things are very much
Okay,
right and
so
wrong.
so like obviously there's good and bad people. So let's do a specific scenario. So like one dude that's Catholic, one dude that's Methodist or whatever the fuck, right? They both are good civilians. They both help out in their community. They both donate to the church. They never raped anybody. They've never got a parking ticket.
Sure, they
Like they're
didn't
just
rape
good people
anybody.
all around. I mean, they might have, but I don't. Let's say for the
Let's
sake
say
of
they did.
argument, they're both not rapists.
Right.
For the sake of argument, they've never touched anybody inappropriately,
Right.
right? So they're both of good moral character in the eyes of God,
Right.
but one is Catholic and one isn't. So is that going to be the difference?
Yeah, exactly. Because if you
So one person's going to hell for that. That's crazy.
no, it's because the other person has a significantly better chance of getting into heaven because you need to be in communion with the church.
So it's a percentage,
Percentage of like, what do you mean by that?
like a greater chance. You said it's a greater. So
Well, yes,
it's like a
because
percentage, like
they're obviously like Pope John Paul II has written about levels to actions being morally wrong. You know, because there's multiple different factors you have to take into account when judging an action, like how much a person knows, in what situation were they in, and stuff like that. And it's like, also like like and then what religion they subscribe to. Like if you don't know anything about Jesus, it's not as bad if you do something that's if you commit a sin, as opposed to if a Catholic does it, they're in full knowledge of the truth, therefore it's worse than they do. That's why if the Pope has like fucking orgies, that's like awful, and he's probably gonna go to fucking hell. Then again, I don't know, because we can't know for sure.
he can't just say a couple of Hail Marys and be good.
Probably not. I mean, if you do something like that when you're the Pope and you're literally supposed to bring the gospel to the world, and that's what you're doing, yeah, God's probably not going to be very, very happy with you. But
So that's what I'm saying. It's all a case by case basis.
yes, but we're all still judged by God. But being Catholic is like the closest you're going to get, you know, if not the thing. Which I mean, it is the thing, but it's like, and it also accounts for all of these like people on these islands or whatever that like the gospel like never got there. Well, yeah, they didn't know. They're still judged by God because they die and they go to purgatory, but they're judged differently, because God had a different plan for them,
You know what's crazy is because I've heard people say that before, like they have for people that have never been reached the gospel. That's why people want to be missionaries. They think they have to save everybody's souls. So, like that's a concept I think that is on all Christianity, not just Catholicism.
It's in Islam
But
too.
C.S. Lewis, was he Catholic or just what was he? I know he was.
He was Anglican. He was gonna convert to Catholicism, but he died abruptly.
Which is
He
crazy
was
because I
going to,
remember
I
his
think.
because his whole message of Narnia was like the whole point was everybody that thought that they were subscribing to a different power, they were serving Aslan all along. So his whole point was like it didn't matter what denomination or religion you were, you all were serving the same God, right? So the whole point was you're supposed to be of good moral standing and character and just live your life to for
Yes,
others and stuff
but
like
at the
that.
same time, if you are in knowledge of Aslan, you need to like follow all the Aslan stuff, if you see what I'm saying. Because if you were in knowledge of the truth, it's Adam and Eve, like when they ate the fruit and they knew what was right and wrong, That's why.
Yeah, but they never made that distinction in the books though, or in the movies. Not that I remember. That was just the whole point. Like they never said that specifically. Like, oh, now that you know I'm here, like you gotta fucking like
Because you don't need to
suck these
explain
nuts.
that, because that would be like you don't need to overtly explain that to the audience. You kind of just pick that up in nuance.
Well, yeah, if you subscribe, like if because like but people that like aren't that like you that just like comes off as the message of like you just have to believe in something, and then if you do good, then you're ending up serving me all the line. So I always thought it was dumb for people like fighting over religious wars because like it's literally the same fucking
At
god.
least they were
But
fighting for something that they fucking believed in. I mean, now no one gives
yeah,
a shit
everybody
about
does.
fucking anything, dude.
Yeah, the fucking Russians think they're fighting for a good reason when they're like might be more of the
I
story,
mean, not
fellas.
entirely. It's not really necessarily a religious thing, but
No, not in terms of religion. I'm just saying like people, no matter what war they fight in, for the most part, believe they're on the right side and they're doing it for the right reasons. Whether you're an American, you think you're protecting democracy and freedom for going in fucking the Middle East. You know what I mean? Like, or you're avenging nine. Like everybody
no,
thinks
which
they're
all that
fighting
stuff
for a
is,
just
is
cause.
awful. That's well, no, just war.
Yeah,
Just
but
war does exist, but
yeah, there is just war. But I'm saying like you talk to most people that are fighting like on that side, like they're on that side. Like they're
right.
not going to be many people that are going to be against the side they're on. It just doesn't make sense.
I see what you're saying.
They all think it's just. That's what I'm saying. Like I see this like this double entendre of like this like duality of man where everybody like thinks they're right and they're wrong, and not even religion, that just plays in every aspect of like whether it's like political, whether people think liberals are dumb, people think conservatives are dumb and
Right
they're
and
right.
wrong
Like
does
everybody
exist,
just is that way, and it's just and I don't know. I always saw that early on. That's why I just kind of backed away from all that shit because it just doesn't seem like it helps anything.
though. I'm telling you, man.
There's no humility.
Right, I know that is something that is very lacked by the large amount
But,
of
like
society.
yeah, but regardless about it, I don't give a shit. Like I like
But
even if
at the
people
same
try to
time,
force
though, dude,
whatever beliefs on me.
I'll tell you this. You like people can say that they don't subscribe to anything as much as they want, but if a raindrop falls down on a hill, it's gonna go to one side or the other. As short as it goes to one side, maybe it like barely even goes to the other side. It still went to the other side. It can never truly.
I'm
be
not
in the
saying
middle.
I'm not saying I don't subscribe to anything. I'm just saying like I'm not gonna die on this hill that I know something over because like I might not have all the shit. Like I'll like argue with people and I'll like think I know stuff and then I don't know. I'm just
Well,
open to learning
that's
new
the whole
things
point
too.
in faith, and the reason I believe in all this is because like, why would we even be arguing about this? Like, why would me and you even like be talking about this? Like,
Because
know?
I think I think
we're
I
made
think
in the image and likeness of God. You know.
I just think the topic's interesting. Like I like when I'm not arguing with you. I just think the conversation is interesting. I like talking with people that
Yeah, I'm
have
sorry,
different
like
perspectives
lack
on
of a
life
better
than I
term. Like,
do.
why would we even be discussing this? You know, why can we
Oh,
can
yeah.
have these super complex conversations? You know.
Well, that's my whole point. There's so much nuance. Like that's why I never subscribe to the idea that like you have to do this a certain way because like if we're really made in his image, like I don't think he would be like this. You know what I mean? Like I just think like if you deserve to be there,
Why do you get to
you'll
speak
be
for
there, and
God,
if you
though?
deserve to burn, huh?
But why do you get to speak for God? You see what I'm saying?
I'm not speaking for him. I'm just saying like the like if people try to like say things like that to justify God's actions, like
That's why
there is flaw in that.
Yeah, but that's why I subscribe to Catholicism, because they are the only people that do have authority.
Yeah, but the human logic I don't think humans are capable of explaining the true intentions of God. That's what my point is. So it's like anytime somebody says that, it's like I'm not arrogant enough to speak for a higher power. Like I don't know. I'm not going to claim something I don't know. What I'm saying is like I just think people it's interesting to me that people like are so obsessed with like thinking they know. Like every time somebody does something, they think it's like God's plan for them. So it's like I always thought it was weird they were arrogant enough to claim that.
Well, I mean, it is, but you know, you don't.
Well,
have
that's
to
what
be
I'm saying.
annoying
It's like
about it.
well, to me, it's just crazy. That's not what I'm saying. To me, it's like I just don't think we'll have ever the intellect to do that. And I think that all this, like, especially from like thousands of years and there's got to be some mistranslations. There's got to be fucking all this shit, all the stuff that like you don't even have the full Bible and all that. So I don't know.
We do
Like,
have the full Bible.
To me, it's just crazy.
What is the Bible?
I don't know. There might be more books missing. You have no
There's
idea.
no books missing. The Bible.
I thought the Catholic Church took some out, and
They
then like
didn't
that's
take
what's
anything
part in
out.
that fucking
They
vault.
the Bible is not something that existed that that people took thing out of. Like, it is a collection that people made over time of individual books.
That's what I'm saying. There's books of the Bible that
They're
are not
not
in
books
this
of the
the
Bible.
Bible that we have now,
They didn't.
or whatever you
No,
want. Dead Sea Scrolls,
they
whatever the
weren't
fuck.
taken from the Bible. They were never in the Bible. You see what I'm
Whatever the
saying? Like,
modern version of what I'm saying is like whatever the modern version of the Bible is, like I don't think it's even like part of the context of the entire whatever the word of God is supposed to be. I think we're whatever it is, it's missing pieces for sure. Over like there's no way. It's over thousands of years. Like
so you're going
there's
off a
gotta be some
feeling.
shit missing. Yeah. I don't know.
But then
I'm
how?
just
But
saying
then
it
how are
feels
you
crazy
able
to
to
me.
do that if you don't? Well, okay, no, but I didn't really ask because like, do you believe in God or do you not? Because I forgot.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe in a higher power. I don't think, like I said, I'm not arrogant enough to like claim like I know God's intention. I know what sect of religion is right. I just saying like I just see the hypocrisy that man has made about God, and I don't think it's helpful. And for the people
You
that
don't
are
have to do
religious or
that if you
spiritual
just
or
stick to
whatever
being
the fuck they
Catholic,
were,
but you know.
I go like I said, I don't like I don't like I don't
Like, well, okay, that's my kind of
I
my response to non-denominational Christianity. It's like, no, non-denominational Christianity is Catholicism because,
but I'm not a Christian. That's what I'm saying.
well,
I'm not any denomination. I just believe in a higher power. I don't subscribe to any modern religion. That's what I'm saying. I grew up Methodist, but I'm not like Methodist. You know what I mean?
yeah, like you don't like you wouldn't write down on a piece of paper that you're
No,
Methodist.
I like I said, as far as it
But then what do you
goes, like
subscribe
I
to
said,
though?
nothing religiously, none. I just believe in a higher power.
So you're
I
agnostic.
don't think we came from nothing. No, I'm not agnostic. I believe there's a higher power. I just don't know. Like, like I said, I
Oh
don't
no,
think
so
we're
okay, so
arrogant enough
so
to.
you're deist.
I guess I don't know.
Yeah, deist is like you believe in a god. You're just like I don't believe in like this Bible stuff necessarily, and I
No, I believe stuff. No, okay.
no.
Let
But
me.
like you don't believe that like God has basically like God created us and he's not like still making decisions. He's kind of created it and is like just watching.
No, I think my whole entire point is like I don't think humans have divine authority. I think the ones that are just lying, and it's been used to control just for political power,
Oh,
greed,
do you have divine
whatever.
authority? Like
No, that's what I'm
no,
saying.
but
I
you
don't think
see,
anybody has divine
you're
authority.
speaking for God though by saying that people can't speak
I'm
for
not. No,
God.
no, no. I'm saying I don't think. If it ends up being the case, then I'll fucking repent on my knees. What I'm saying is like I just think people are full of shit. So
A
I
lot of
don't
people
trust
can be,
them to
yeah.
have divine power. I don't trust people to have divine power. I just think they're lying. And whether that's God doing that or not, I don't know. I'm just saying people are full of shit, and that's kind of what made me stray away from it. I also think they're just inept ability to ban everything, like especially this type of music. Like most people, like you like the devil's music, well, pretty much, in most people's eyes, that
No.
it's religious. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Like just
yeah,
the
no, but like a lot of like American Protestant people, yes, they would probably say that you shouldn't listen to that kind of music. There's nothing in
that's everybody really
no,
said that
there's
too.
nothing in Catholicism that bans you from listening to this kind of music. It's just they're just like just keep in mind that this might lead to something worse. It doesn't necessarily mean that it would or that it has to lead to something worse, but like it could be and it could open up your doors to like you know, like to go down like the path.
My overall point is like they're really quick to ban shit and then claim that it's God's will. It's just
Well,
like,
okay, dude,
how do
I
you?
have a problem with people that hold these same opinions that these religious people do, but then people only like a lot of the public opinion on porn, which I think is shifting over to like how it's bad now in the past like years. But it's like they're only
Right.
doing that. People are only doing that because it's non-religious people coming out and saying this, and it's like, no, maybe you should just come out and admit that these religious people kind of had a point, you know?
Well, it's like anything with moderation, like gambling, porn,
Well,
fucking
no, I don't
alcohol.
think you can do porn in moderation. It's pretty bad.
I agree. I think porn's harmful, but my argument wasn't for porn. My argument was for music.
Well, yes, but there's nothing in like Catholicism that bans rock music or metal music.
I'm not saying like doctrine, but like you talk to most people are religious, and that is the common sentiment. Not saying it's a specifically Catholic thing. That's like it's just a specific religious thing. I didn't. What I'm trying to think. So like, a lot of the Catholic people I knew were older,
Okay.
like boomers, but a lot of like young people were like either non-denominational or specific denomination of Christianity. I didn't really know like many Catholics that were around my age because there weren't that
All
many.
right.
Well, I mean, obviously there's a lot because there's All Saints, but I didn't. I guess
I'm like the
more
only person
specifically,
you know that goes to All Saints.
that's not true. I knew a couple people that went to All Saints, but they weren't that many.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
my
you did
point.
know. Wait, doesn't like your girlfriend like? Didn't you say she's like kind of Catholic, but not really?
So yeah, she went back and forth. I mean, I don't. She had. I'm not gonna say it on here, out of respect, but she just had some personal stuff, and then when you have stuff like that happen, questioning God and why you like. She went through that kind of thing, and that's pretty much all I'll say about
Right.
that.
Yeah, you don't need to go into any detail. It's
Yeah,
fine.
but that's pretty much, yeah. She was raised Catholic, and then went through some things, and then had to reevaluate. I don't honestly, hand to God, I don't know what she is now, but it's interesting because like I was never a person, because like when she was going through that, like I went to services with her. I was never a person to, like I said, I don't push my shit on people, and I always try to be supportive with whatever. So and she always would ask me for advice, and I would always tell her like I'm not the right person to ask. I think you should just do what you feel in your heart is right, and if it helps you and it makes you feel good, then just choose that
A lot of
path.
people get
So
pissed off
I
by
kind
that.
of stayed out of that. Well, I didn't want
No,
to
I'm
tell
not
her
like
one way or
judging
the
the
other.
way that you just kind of. I mean, that's kind of how I would have done that. I mean,
Well, it's like I don't want to be responsible for that. Like that's not my
yeah,
choice. That's what I'm saying. It's
yeah,
not my choice.
exactly. Because it's like something happened to you that's like you're like, oh, that's like beyond me. I can't do anything about that. So like,
Yeah, like I said, I'm not arrogant enough to tell somebody if God exists or doesn't exist or what religion to follow, because you just be a good person, you do your own shit, handle your fucking business, and we're good to go. I'm not gonna fucking, like I said, I'll have a conversation and I'll be on the defensive if somebody's coming for me, but I'm
well,
not
that's
ever gonna start shit
Catholicism,
or
man. And you're not being arrogant.
what.
It's just
What
follow
is?
the teachings of Jesus, and it'll make you happy, dude. It does. Made me happy. It gave me a lot of peace in my
Yeah,
life.
if it gives you peace and makes you happy, then stick
Well,
with
then
it.
again, like
Like
I'm
nobody
not
should take
always
that away from
like
you.
I'm not always trying to like go like when I'm at the guitar store, be like, hey, Jason, like, bro, just follow Jesus. Like I'm not constantly telling you all the time.
No, you're not. You're not that guy.
But if
What-
you
I'm
no,
not.
no, and if you do that, then like that's not really okay, because there's tons of ways to preach the gospel that that people don't even really think about. Like you could just be yourself, and just you could follow the teachings of the church by just still being respectful to someone, like I'm doing with you right now, and I'm listening to you, I'm letting you all that stuff. There's tons of ways to preach the gospel.
There was. I'm trying to remember. There was a guy. I don't know if this is a guy that said this or if this is just like a common idea. So it's like, for me, I think the reason why a lot of people are straying away from religion, obviously from like personal, whatever the reason is, I think the main thing is like, if it was really like what it's like that good, like you wouldn't have to convince people. Like if you show somebody a better route, it's better than telling them, right? So I think that's kind of the main problem, is that a lot of people feel intimidated by that fact, or a lot of people are just religious because they're scared if there is an afterlife or if there is a hell that they're going to be, suffering forever. So they'd rather not have that. So because I remember
That's why
I
we
went through
have
like that little.
government and well, okay, no, sorry. That's why we have society, not government. I'm sorry. That's why
Yeah,
we have
fuck
society.
that. Yeah, fuck that.
Well, no, okay, no, okay. We still need a government, but
Yeah, you still need one, but they're all fucking useless.
yeah, I mean, that's why we have society. Man is a social being, dude.
I have more faith in the Catholic Church than I do in government, even though they are a theocracy.
Well, okay, thanks for saying that. That was actually really, really cool. I'm glad you said that.
I don't actually believe that. I think they're both bad.
No, the Catholic Church.
No, I don't know. My thing was like, I'm not smart enough to fix it, so I can't really say shit.
I see what
but
you're saying.
I don't know.
I
don't.
Like, you know what?
Yeah,
I don't
whatever.
know. I don't want to. I just rather talk
Fuck
about
it.
how awesome Tool is.
Well, it's like that's what I'm saying. Like to me, like spirituality was always stuff that actually was like helpful, and like I kind of interpret like I not really, I don't really think about it too much now, but I remember like back in the day, I always like I saw like God in things. So it's like if I like shared like a good moment with somebody, or if I did something that made me feel good and something that wasn't destructive, like I or like if I was in a place that I felt something surreal. Like that's kind of what I attributed to
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I never I never felt that feeling like listening to stories and having people tell me something. Like I always felt those in experiences,
Well,
or
it's very dependent
like I
on me
don't know
and
if
like who it is that's speaking and stuff like that.
yeah,
But
I
like,
just I'm not that guy with people. Like I don't, like I said, I don't like most people. But the one thing I like, I don't know if I ever told you, like I did like went into a lot of mission trips
oh yeah, you
when I
were telling
was
me
in
about
my
that.
church. Yes, like I would see a lot of God in those moments of like helping out people that really needed it after a disaster. Like that stuff really made me feel good to do things like that. But we weren't ever like it wasn't like a mission. Like we never like were there to convert people. And I think most of them were already religious anyways. I don't quite remember, but like that wasn't the whole point. Was that like help them rebuild their shit. That was the whole point.
It's the Eucharist,
So
man. Without the Eucharist,
that doesn't have anything.
no. But I mean, I'm just.
What does that have to do with putting up
It's
drywall,
because
Will?
you're saying about like the religious anyway, but I'm like, well, they don't have the Eucharist, man.
Whatever the fuck you want to call them, worshiping the same false god.
Jesus is
In
the
your
quiz
eyes.
God, dude.
I know.
Yeah.
You didn't get my
I
joke.
know,
It's okay.
I did. I got your joke, but I know. But I'm glad we can have a conversation, and we're like, and we can agree to disagree, and that's it's a great thing, you know.
I think you have to. You know how boring it would be if everybody fucking agreed with
Well,
each
that's
other?
why we
That'd
have
be
free
awful.
will, and that's why we have all of these different. That's why I keep asking myself. I'm like,
Exactly.
God, like, why did you have like the Protestant Reformation? Why did you have the Great Schism of 1054? And it's like, well, he's trying to make you know what's right, because it makes you think about more, how, like, why there's difference in things, but like, it's like how when. Like people that suffer these awful tragedies, they end up being happier than ever in life just because they went through all that stuff and they knew what it meant to like really just have like just pigeon cum like all over your fucking eyes, figuratively speaking.
That is if they don't kill themselves
No,
first, though.
right, obviously. Yes, but like these people that no, but these people that go through these awful things and they make it through it, like they really knew what it meant to suffer, and they appreciate not having like being at peace so much more,
Yeah. Or the people that just found God in prison.
Yeah. Malcolm X, baby. What did he go to jail for?
I don't know.
I don't really know much.
Malcolm
I don't know
X.
much about him. Yeah.
I don't really know much about him either. So I think, and this is everybody's conspiracy, is that the FBI and the CIA was really working hard to suppress like Malcolm X, him, the Black Panthers. I'm sorry, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and the Black Panthers and all
right.
that shit, because they really. So that's what their conspiracy was. Like they really tried hard to fucking suppress all that shit. So that's probably they could probably throw a penny and try to pick any excuse. But
Oh, so you're
I
saying
think
like
Malcolm.
they probably put him in jail when he didn't really need to go to jail.
I don't know. Maybe. The only thing I knew is that Martin Luther King was less extreme in his views than Malcolm X was. I think the government saw Malcolm X more as a threat,
Well, yeah, because
but they saw Martin Luther King was more dangerous because he had more support.
But
I
like,
don't know.
wasn't Malcolm X like white people are like evil or something like that?
Yeah.
It was like
I
Martin
mean,
Luther King
I
Jr.
don't.
was like we need to just stop thinking about that and just like we need to be like just come together, because it doesn't matter what we look like,
No, it wasn't that simple.
Well,
it wasn't
I mean,
like
I'm just because like again, I don't know too much about Malcolm X. That's why I'm asking about that because I don't really. I know more about Martin Luther King, obviously, than Malcolm X.
So Martin Luther King didn't really go. I say, it's been forever since I've learned about these two. The one thing I do know is that Malcolm X, like a lot of people that talk about like the institutional racism, like that's kind of where that comes from. I think is from him. Like he talked about a lot of the institutional stuff.
Yeah, we might have to save that for another podcast.
Yeah, he had a lot of theological shit. Not theological. I'm sorry. He had a lot of ideological stuff, but I don't know if he was for.
He converted to Islam.
Oh, it's true. I forgot about that. So he did do that too. Yeah. But what I'm not sure of though is if he was in favor of like segregation. Part of me thinks that he wanted to like create another society of just black people and then have like white I think he wanted people to be separate.
Right,
but I may be totally fucking wrong on that. But it was either him or somebody else.
Yeah, and that's why
I don't know because I think his whole point was like black and white people are never going to integrate fully,
Okay.
just from all the shit that's happened. I think that was his point.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know though.
Whereas like Martin Luther King,
But yeah,
as far as I know about him, that's like not his thing.
no, but like I said, I think him and Martin Luther King were similar on. I mean, they would have to be growing up in that fucking time, I would imagine. But
Right.
like, I feel like Martin Luther King was different when he wanted to try to find a way to make it work. Whereas Malcolm X, he was all about like the prosperity and the uplifting of black people. Like he wasn't concerned with white people at all. He just wanted to. He was mainly concerned about like the black voice, kind of.
Yeah.
That's kind of the impression that I got from him.
Yeah, I think
Like he didn't even want white people in the conversation. Like, he just
right.
wanted to
Yeah,
like talk
because
about
he's
them.
like he's like,
Yeah.
who cares? Like, where the
Yeah, just I think that was his deal. But again,
and
could
like
be
to
wrong. It's
stuff
been
that,
forever
that
since I learned
to
about him.
people who know more about these things and think that we're really stupid. Like, I'm sorry if we're
There's so much information you can't learn
right.
it
I
all. My
know.
thing's music, man. I'm not a historian. Music is my thing.
Right, exactly. I love both, but you know.
I do like history, but I wasn't big on American history, and my school was different. Like I actually learned about I had good history teachers. Like we learned
you
about a
were
lot of
telling me
shit, like
that.
all the Native Americans. Yeah, like I learned about a lot of the stuff that I guess most people didn't. I don't know. Everybody says that, but I feel like everybody at least knows. So, like I learned about Malcolm X, Martin Luther, all those
In
fucking
school,
guys.
I never learned about Malcolm X, but we did learn about MLK. I think that's like required. Like,
Did you really not learn about Malcolm X?
I don't think we did.
Interesting.
We did learn
I don't
about
know.
MLK.
I just
though.
think
And obviously like Rosa Parks and like
it might have been the area because I like growing up in the DMV. It's very like it's a fucking melting pot. So like you just get a bunch of different perspectives from everybody. So I think that's partly the reason of the schools here being like
Right.
dude. I swear to God, I got so much fucking information. I don't know any of it. Like it was so much. Like people always think, oh, we only learned about this and this. Like I learned about a lot of
no, you
shit. Like
kind
a
of learn
lot of
fucking
stuff.
information.
Yeah, you just forgot most of it because it's fucking
As they
bullshit the
on
way
they
they teach it.
found.
Exactly. My problem is like every time you'd go to an advancing grade, like yeah, all that shit you learned in previous grade, not true. This is how it actually went down. I
No,
was like, what
I
the
remember
fuck?
like it was like 8th or ninth grade. I just asked my like math teacher like we were literally learning about the functions. I'm like, oh, that was my least favorite thing in like math class. I'm like, it's like is this a function, and it has like the graph. I'm like, I don't know, I don't care. Like, can I just not do this anymore? But anyway, yeah.
Math, I didn't
So
get
like
anything
the
from.
stupid thing, like the is this a function? And I'm like, I don't care. Can you just fuck off with the function stuff? Like I asked my teacher, I was like, why do we need to learn this? Like, how is this gonna help us in life? And then they go, well, you need to learn this in order to get into algebra 2. And I'm like, well, what is
Yeah.
algebra 2 gonna get you? And it's like it's gonna get you into calculus. I'm like, what is calculus gonna get you into? And it's like college. And it's like, well, what is college gonna get you into? And it's like, well, it's a better job opportunity. And then I'm like, oh, well, you can get better job opportunity without college. And then I got in this thing.
Yeah, it's like the people that understand it are gonna go be an engineer or work for fucking aerospace. The people that don't need to learn
No,
it. If you don't understand
exactly.
it, move on.
I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
no. I do think it is important to go to high school, but like college, like that is just it's not required.
What I should have done, I mean, I say that now, but I like what I do now, and I think it still has potential to move up. But when I was in high school, I was not good at math. Math was not my strong suit, but I loved architectural and engineering drafting. Like that stuff I could understand because I could actually like any math I had to do was simple and I could apply it to what I was specifically doing. It wasn't like I had to do some theoretical formula that makes a fucking line on a graph somewhere, like fucking sick. But I was learning AutoCAD, which is basically like anytime somebody designs something, like a blueprint or a part, or sometimes even houses, like it's probably some AutoCAD language, right? So Micron was taking people at actually no, was it Micron or Lockheed? It was either Micron or Lockheed Martin. One of those two was taking kids out of high school. All they had to do was take the AutoCAD certification test, and then you'd be a drafter right out of high school, not even have to go to school for it.
Nice.
And I didn't do it for some reason. But people were telling me that it's kind of a dead-end job. Like, once you're a drafter, you can't really move up. So you kind of hit a threshold at some point. So
Right.
sometimes I'm glad to. But, like, my school had some of those programs where it's like there was some other alternatives to college. Like, our auto shop class had one called UTI, where they were taking kids to go, like, learn to work on race cars and shit.
Ooh,
like,
nice.
there was a couple programs that they had. Yeah. which was nice. It was nice to see that like the counselors weren't just pushing college down your throat because you're paid
Yeah,
to.
because a lot of college, like, it's just a fucking scam.
Dude, I know, man. I fucking
Yeah, I
dropped
know
out.
we've
I,
gone on and on about this, but like, man, when I was in
yeah.
Louisiana, my grandparents live right by LSU. I went and visited my friends there. I just saw so many people my age. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing here? Like, just go
Yeah.
get like a real job and like just make money. Like, go from there. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I kind of boiled it down to so it's like if you're a doctor, engineer, anything that requires like special technical training, I think it's worth it. Or if you're getting a bit like a law degree, but I think like business, especially like my thing, I just thought it was useless. And especially like, good God, if I was gonna get a history degree, I don't know what the fuck I would have. Like a lot of people I know that got a psychology degree, which you can get a good job, right? You can take that in many different avenues. You know, art therapist, regular therapist, working,
Well, I mean, a history degree
fucking
could still give
CPS.
you a good bit of stuff.
Yeah, but like it's more competitive and you're less likely to get a higher paying job.
But no, it's
Like, dude, you get a computer science degree, you can make $100,000 fucking right out
oh
of
no, yeah,
college.
computer
It's so
science.
in
Like my
demand.
friend was explaining to me, it gives you it's like a
Yeah.
very broad degree, and it can give you a lot of different options to deal with, as
Yeah.
opposed to like
Exactly. So that's
you'll have some really niche thing where it's like, what? There's like,
yeah, and that was my issue. Like I felt like it was just gonna be a fucking waste of time and money. And a lot of people, because like I worked in restaurants before I do what I do now, and a lot of people got a degree in, like I said, in business or in psychology, and then they just end up being a bartender,
yeah,
and then
exactly. Like, you don't
they
even
win the
use
real
that.
estate.
Yeah.
I swear to God, dude, it's the joke. It's like college, bartender, real estate. That's the path you're on.
Well,
I'm
okay,
not kidding. Like, there's so many people
yeah,
that
I
did that.
understand a lot of people want to go because of like the social aspect. I can see that.
Yeah.
That doesn't interest me at all, but
See, I didn't even have that because I went to I went to community college first,
yeah,
and
you didn't have
then
like
I
a
only
you
did
didn't have
like
a football team or anything like that, so.
well, even if we did, who gives a shit?
Well,
But
no,
what I'm saying is
yeah,
like
right.
I could not give a fuck. But like I did that, and then I went to a commuter school that was like a half hour from my house. So it's like I didn't ever have a college experience. So it's like I just thought it was a total waste of time, and fuck, I don't know why. But I'm like what I do now, so it's fine.
Yeah, who
But
cares?
it's just like, God damn.
That's
I
why
wish I would
like
have figured this out
I'm
earlier.
glad I just didn't go at all, because I'm like, I didn't want to just be in any fucking debt. I was pretty set on the fact that I just wanted to just do some kind of manual labor, and yeah. And I love what I'm doing now too.
Yeah, and
At
that's
the
good.
painting
I think
company,
you have
it's
to
great.
have that substitute. You can't be like fuck school and then do nothing.
Oh,
Like you
well,
got
yeah, you do need to have
you gotta
like webs, and you do need to be able to.
yeah, this system's bullshit, bro. I just gotta smoke weed and complain about my landlord. Like, come
Yeah,
on, man.
man. Like just like relax, bro. Like
Yeah. I don't know. You can fucking go on ever. I have no respect for it. Ever since I learned like how schools get their funding and standardized testing and just all the, like I just lost respect. And since high school, that's why I did the bare minimum for fucking everything. Like I graduated.
yes, because it
I still
doesn't
got
matter.
yeah. It doesn't fucking matter. No job's gonna look at your fucking grades.
Exactly. That
Dude,
whole bullshit
if
they
I
try to put on you that like, oh, this matters. This is dependent on your whole future. It's like, no, it
Yeah.
fucking isn't.
I have more sales, inventory, and managerial experience than somebody right out of college. If somebody gets a 4-year degree and I go apply for the same job, I guarantee you I'm getting that fucking job than somebody with an internship from fucking college. I guarantee
Yeah,
you.
I know. It's same thing with me. I'm literally
Yeah.
on a salary job now. I'm making great money. I love what I'm doing. I'm learning lots of valuable skills. I have a lot more. Like I'm much more valuable as a worker than these people. Yeah, like you said, like these people that go get this
Oh, yeah.
4-year degrees, like. Especially a lot of the people that I went to school with in New Orleans, like a lot of them are like that.
Yeah. I wish I had the aptitude to understand programming because, dude, there's some people that come into the store and he writes code for Amazon. Dude fucking makes
Damn.
bank and he's like my age. It's crazy. My brother was really good at that shit. He works for Blackboard, which is like a company that does all the fucking like great. I always make fun of it. It's a fucking awful system. I hated using it in college, but basically like you can do quizzes on it. It shows your grades and shit. You can schedule things. Like it's an awful system. It's really outdated. But anyways, but like he's pretty high up in that company. So it's like, dude, I wish I was smart enough to understand programming or computer science or any of that shit because good God.
Yeah, man. I'm
Bank.
also writing the book. See where that takes me.
Did you? It's a nonfiction one,
Yeah.
or no? It's a fiction
No,
one,
no,
right? I remember you
it's
telling
the
me about that.
nonfiction.
It's
Yeah, it's how
nonfiction.
my family came to this country.
Oh, you didn't tell me that. I thought you said you were gonna write a fictional
Did
story.
I? I don't remember that.
Yeah. I don't remember if we talked about it on the podcast or if I was talking to you earlier. I swear you were writing a fictional book.
I don't remember saying that. I could have, but I guess I'm not anymore.
Oh,
No,
crazy.
I have obviously fictionalized certain aspects of the story, but it's still like it'd be like an equivalent of like a Narcos or something like that. You know,
Right.
I'm just gonna see where that takes me. I've originally written it in like a children's book style, just to get the big chunks out. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long is it going to be?
Not too long initially, because I'm initially just gonna make it for my family, maybe for the youth group at church, and then if they like it, I might write it into like a bigger, more extensive, um, like more like sophisticated kind of novel.
Do you want to go down the publishing route?
Possibly. Just got to see where it takes me. That's why I'm just
Interesting.
gonna develop this because I have time. You know, I have money, so it's something. It's
Yeah, go for it, man.
exactly. So I'll see where it takes me.
Dude, that's the cool thing about doing anything creative and like just like exploring new shit. Like it's such a good feeling. There's no other feeling I can describe it. It's so fun. I love like thinking about new stuff that I will like want to
Oh
get
yeah,
into.
that's how I found this. That's how I found my guitar, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I want to learn guitar. That just seems cool. Like cool. I want to do that, and I just put my mind to it, and now I love it. It's like part of me. You know.
Did I ever tell you that I was really like I wanted to be an animator when I was
I
younger?
think you did tell me that. That might have been on the podcast somewhere.
I don't. What I didn't tell you is that I'm. I'm not gonna tell you where they are, but I made really cringy like animation clips. Like I did all the voices and
Wait.
everything, and they're like short, like little one
Oh
or
my
2 minute
god. Can I
ones.
post those on my channel?
No, no, it's too cringy. I can't do it.
Really? Can you at least show
Hold.
them to
I'm.
me?
Let me. I'll show. Let me look. I might give you one. I'm gonna. I need to find where they
No,
are.
but like,
I think.
dude, you never know. It could become like a meme, and it could have like a following,
No,
dude.
it's not. It's not memeable in any way. Like it's not even like bad funny. It's
What
just
even
like
is
you're
it?
just sitting there like watching
What
it.
is it about? What does it look like?
I so
You don't even know.
I don't know. I don't know. So a lot of it was because like I was learning the program, so like I just thought it was cool that I was making pictures move and shit. Like so one of them it was crazy. So like the one that I did, it was like maybe like 15 seconds. It's like I drew me at the computer, like editing something, and like the animation is me getting frustrated that something's not working, and then it just ends.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's crazy. I just did
That's
like little
great.
short, like fucking stupid shit.
Right.
And then yeah, I was a different animal at 13.
Uh,
But I just forgot about that until
I
now.
saw this great meme
Crazy.
where it was like three different versions of this guy. He was like, it was like like me when I'm 25, looking back at like me when I was 18, and he's like cringing, and there's like me when I was 18, look like he's cringing at like me when I was 12 or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Right? I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I'm gonna be cringing at myself when I'm 25.
I think once you get past 20, maybe when you get past 25, you stop cringing at yourself. You just kind of start thinking the same shit for decades, and then that's
Yeah,
how you die a stubborn boomer.
exactly. Well, no, because that's when like like you're not really growing much anymore, and like, you know,
Well, that's why that's what I'm saying. Like, there's not many hills that I die on because I mean, for like entertainment. When I did the other podcast, like my character was more exaggerated. On here, like I was a little bit more harsh, and like I kind of, I got more animated about topics, but it was just for entertainment. Like I never really actually got that meta.
okay.
It was just fun to like get to that level with other people, especially while you're drinking too. You just get into the moment of it.
Oh, are you talking about the podcast
But
with Travis and Matt?
yeah, all those guys. Yeah. All those
I
guys.
asked Matt. I
Um,
was like, "So, am I gonna be on the podcast?" And he's like, "I don't want to be mean to you."
I was looking forward to that because like you two shitting at each other would
Oh,
be
I
fucking
would
hilarious,
no,
dude.
I would love to be on y'all's podcast. That would be great.
Dude, it was brutal. It had to end because like we should like it's always like dude, we should like it's a cool concept, right? Everybody's like, dude, we should just get fucking drunk and say just off the wall shit.
And that
Dude,
stuff,
it got
like
so
the
personal. Like
NSFW stuff.
people yeah, it was that. People were telling stories they weren't supposed to. People were talking about divorces they weren't supposed. Like it
Oh
just
yeah.
got to the point where like this is too
No, but
raw.
don't you think if I went
So
in there, it would kind of like balance it out? I don't know.
I don't know because there's already like 5 of us. Like it might have been too much.
Oh, okay, yeah, that is a lot of people.
It yeah, like this works because it's you and me having a
No,
conversation.
the
But like
most
it's
people you can
hard to
have like
do
on
that
a
with.
podcast, yeah, it's four or five is like kind of pushing it, but
I think sometimes 4 is too much. Like for me, like 3 is my top. Like I can't listen. It's just too many people talking at the same time.
right, especially like it's harder to hear like one person's like thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I like because like this is more of like an interview style. Like we'll like talk about shit, agree,
Yeah,
disagree, ask questions, like get
it's like
perspectives. Like we could
it's the Joe Rogan style.
it's easier to stay on the same thought. Yeah, it's easier to stay on the same train of thought.
Yeah.
You don't have people jumping in with some because like I feel like a lot of times what doesn't make it work is people try really hard to make it funny and it's super forced and like
Yeah, 'cause when you
they'll
try
have like
for
a
something to
good
be funny,
conversation.
it's not going to be funny. Things are funny, just 'cause
Exactly.
they're naturally funny. That's
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like
yeah.
people think they have to overcompensate. So it's like you'll have like a really interesting topic or discussion going, and somebody has to like fucking like one line you, and then or change the topic. And like we'll have like a good story, and someone's like, oh, that reminds you of that one time totally unrelated thing, and then it just falls flat, and people are like, okay, cool, next thing. Like, why are you talking?
Yeah, no, I think we have a much better flow than that.
Yeah, it falls
But
flat with more people
I still
sometimes.
think that me, you, Travis, and Matt could have a great podcast. Like just I
I'm
think
sure.
I want that to happen and I want to record it. It'd be pretty great.
You know, what'd be fun too is to do a bunch of bring somebody on to do an interview for both of us. That'd be
I
kind
have
of
a
fun.
third person on the podcast.
Yeah, to like just like find random people that are like up and coming, like I don't know, fucking artists, musicians, people that are writing
Oh
a
yeah,
book,
actually,
stuff like
I
that.
wanted to do a podcast with the guy who owns the gym I go to.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
didn't know if I wanted to do it with just him or if I wanted to like do it us three. Like,
You can, but yeah, I don't know how much fitness thing I would relate.
well, I mean, he's also into a lot of he plays drums and stuff like that.
Okay, so okay, I didn't know if you want to have a specific angle or just add like a third
No, because
person.
I mean, obviously we have recurring things we talk about, but like we still talk about a wide variety of things.
I can talk about anything. I don't give a shit.
Same.
I just
I'm
like
open
doing
to
it.
literally talking about anything.
But yeah, but that was an idea I was throwing around because I've never done like I there's a stint for a minute where like I wanted to like do interviews and stuff because I love when you do it right. It's really fucking cool. I didn't want to be like a gimmicky one where you're just there because the person's contract says they had to and like you just ask them dumb questions and they're irritated. Like I like actually like I don't know, just not doing it retardedly.
Right.
Because I care. Like I did. Like if I ask somebody something, I'm genuinely interested to know the answer. Like I'm not saying. So I
Yeah, not
listened
like-
to your last
like,
album,
what
and
do you,
how did you write that song? What gave you inspiration? Like
Yeah, not like,
you know what I
why
mean?
are
Like I
you
never wanted to do
interested in
stuff like
working at
that.
this company? I just need to pay my fucking bills,
like
man. Like, just give me this job.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I like this medium because you actually can get like there's a lot of introspection out of the dumb shit. There really
Yeah,
is.
and like you really get to actually talk to someone outside of just the every
know.
like, hey man, how's it going? Like when you see him, it's just like, you know, a lot of just the everyday stuff that you just get numb to, you know.
Yeah, and that's part of I don't know. That's why I enjoy doing these so much because I don't have these types of conversations with people. Most people just do small talk or I'm talking business,
Right.
which I do enjoy, but I don't get to just riff off too much these days, which is why I love this
Oh,
medium.
no, I would love to have one of my friends on here. He says he listens to this and he really actually likes it. I want to see if he wants to be on it. You probably like him.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Let's do
fuck
it. It'd be really fun to do like one just like super fucking like I I know I just said it was a bad idea, but like doing someone like really fucking drunk and just like get like a bunch of people and just have it be a shit
that would
show.
be hilarious.
Just like a total 180 from like the usual stuff that's on
I mean,
here.
honestly, I wouldn't mind if it was just us doing that, but still, whatever. Yeah, we could do some
No, you can't do that with two people. You got to do that with a couple
Really?
people. Yeah, you'd have to have one person that doesn't drink like a lot to kind of, keep the
Oh,
conversation
right,
focused.
right.
You can't all be, that just doesn't
I
work.
see what you're saying.
Because everybody's just going to talk over each other. It's going to be like, bah, 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 audio clipping everywhere. Like, it's not going to work.
Oh, I can't wait to when we have enough of these to make like a best of compilation.
I think we're a long ways away.
No, I could make like a 10-minute thing of just us saying funny shit or just like I don't know.
You're going to get canceled, Will. I feel it. It's
Really?
coming.
One day, Will
Yeah,
Zeldin's canceled.
Probably.
Honestly, dude,
I
I
can
would
be
not
like,
be surprised.
dude, like, you're going to get canceled and people are going to ask me, and I'm like, I told him.
You're like, I don't fucking know that kid. Fuck him.
I told him this is going to happen.
You're like, Will, come on, man. Wait, actually, I was gonna say the thing. I kind of don't.
I thought you were going to say your full name. Like, you might want to bleep your name, son.
No, I was gonna say the other thing that I had mentioned in the store the other day, but I'm like, nah, I don't want to bring that on the podcast yet.
Oh, dude, I was about to fucking. That's just my sense here. I was about to fucking bring that shit up.
I mean,
just so you like, so
if you
Will.
want to, sure. The same thing with the Turkish thing.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to
We
do that
brought
to
up
you.
the Turkish thing.
Yeah, but that's fucking lighthearted.
Oh,
and then,
yeah, okay.
Do you okay? Okay. Do you actually hate Turkish people? Let's set the record
Well,
straight.
no, it's just a meme, dude. It is.
You know what's?
It's rooted in like
I'm
truth,
sorry, go ahead.
but no, it's not like. I don't hate any collective group of people. Like,
You know what's crazy? There was this Turkish girl I used to fuck around with a couple years ago, and
you told
I
me she was hot, right?
I did.
Like,
I
she was really nice.
Yeah, it was
Nice.
all right. But what was it? So it took everything in me to not make like genocide jokes. because before that I knew somebody that was from Cyprus, and like she told me about how like the Turkey Cyprus thing. So I was like, oh shit. And then like the Armenian genocide from listening to System of a Down says like, damn, these are genocidal people.
It's like, bro, can you just own up to it? That's another thing I didn't mention about like
Yeah.
the beef with the Turkish. Like every single Western country is like, yep, they did it. they're like,
Yeah, we don't talk about that because we're allies.
we don't. You know that fucking meme? Have you seen Encanto yet?
I haven't watched the Pixar movie in forever.
Well,
I know everybody's talking about that one and Turning Red. Are you against Turning Red because of the?
About what?
There's a bunch of religious people saying that it just wasn't appropriate for kids or some shit. I don't know.
Dude, I don't give a fucking shit about like Pixar anymore. So I could care less, you know. But like, also it looks stupid and I don't feel like watching it. Like it's just I'm like this is not my thing. Like, but in Encanto, I'm like, all right, it's set in Colombia. It has Spanish stuff. All right, I'm probably gonna get a lot out of it. But so one of the songs is called "We Don't Talk About Bruno," but then someone made this remix. Like one of the lyrics, like this guy just says "rats." He's like "rats," and then they made a remix. It's called "We Don't Talk About Rats." And it's just
I missed that golden age of YouTube where they just made like
Yeah.
really stupid fucking
no, and
parodies.
it's like every single noun that they say in the song is just rats. It's just like I need to send it to you. It's fucking hilarious.
Fucking Mimi, bro. I have to plug in my laptop because it's about to die.
Yeah, it's
before
getting
just
late.
go
I have to
black
work
on you.
tomorrow at like my actual
Okay, cool.
job. You know?
Your actual job of just playing guitar and listening to music and doing
That's
nothing.
my job, man. Fuck the government.
Fuck the government.
I wasn't saying that like you don't have a real job. I was saying like I do actually have like a
I feel deeply scarred by that statement because I know you meant every malintent of it.
I was saying that you're just a fucking bum who doesn't do anything, and yeah.
I wish something to complain about. Alrighty, bro.
Yeah, see you, man.
Bro.
Bro, man. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.